death. Right now, though, police are urging anyone with information about how this young mother died to step forward.
And we are back, guys. Of course, we're up live on Facebook. Be sure to like the WVON page, interact with me. I'll be sure to talk back with you. If you would like to keep up with me exclusively, be sure to follow me across all social media platforms at Follow Cleopatra. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check me out there, the Cleopatra Show. And we're going to get into a turbulent Tuesday on the TCS. And we're talking about Mississippi. We're going to talk about two states. We're going to talk about Wisconsin. And then, of course, we're going to talk about Mississippi. Now, you heard the clip. And when this came across my desk, I immediately sent it to my super producer, Sonia, because we have done a lot of exclusive coverage in the state of Mississippi for a number of reasons, whether it's Nolan Wells, some of the storms that have come through Mississippi, but some of that strange fruit that Mississippi loves to devour. And it boils down to Black people, men and women, that are hanging from trees in 2026. And when you hear a mother of 4, 29, does it make you emotional? Here it is. Her mother is fighting not only for her legacy and memory to be protected, but for what her children will also have to recant of what was left of her life. And whether it was cut down or whatever nefarious act there was, even if it's self-inflicted, to give peace to her mother and her children and her family, those that loved and cared for her, is all that they're asking for. And that's usually rooted in one word: justice. But when it comes to the state of Mississippi, they're not notorious for that when it comes to Black lives. Let's keep it a buck, right? Let's keep it all the way true. So the time, of course, is Delta time. And I'm going to open up the phone lines. 773-591-1690. I have a Black mother of 4, age 29, found hanging from a tree. Not just any tree. This tree is in the proximity of her home. That sound odd? It sounds odd to me. I'm a mother of 3. If nothing else, you're constantly reminded of, if not who you're living for, what. So I think that is alarming. We've had a number of cases where Black people are just randomly hanging from trees on college campuses and so on and so forth. At some point, it can't all be self-inflicted. Does that sound like a nefarious narrative, especially coming out of the state of Mississippi? I like to think so. Now, I said we're talking about 2 states. We're going to swing and take a sneak peek over into Wisconsin, across the border from us. This gubernatorial race is heating up. And here in Illinois, why does it matter? Because we're in the mighty Midwest. And any news coverage that isn't covering this is not news. This is characteristically important because this opportunity at its core has the Democratic Party frightened. There is some type of tidal wave happening where DSA or progressives are ringing the bells of consciousness when it comes to quality of life issues. And this gubernatorial candidate is fighting for the same things our mayor, your mayor, Mayor Brandon Johnson, is already instilling here in Chicago. And it is impacting the nation of other candidates that have risen to fight for the same thing. Mom Donnie, universal pre-K. Mom Donnie is fighting for the age of 2 because working families, if you've been to your nearest daycare or a daycare facility that is even referred to you, you're paying mortgage. Absolutely. So what working family can afford that, which is why To provide early child care all day is the must if folks are to survive, right? She's also fighting for a moratorium on data centers. Now, we've done some exclusive coverage on data centers, one of which is Quantum Psi, and I'm going to do something special about Quantum Psi here in Chicago because Quantum Psi has Eastside going crazy in terms of who agreed to welcome you to our land and what are you doing with our water. Meanwhile, the folks that live on Chat GPT and AI that write for them and all lack the integrity to even try to form a sentence. You're expounding and gorging our water supply at the expense of whom? The taxpayers. They're transferring the debt to you. So I appreciate some of the stance of the gubernatorial candidate, Hong, but one in which they find to be controversial about her, she put up a post on her social media that says Thanksgiving should be canceled. So if that's the low hanging fruit that you can find her to be an extremist about, then so be it. But everybody's entitled to their opinion. Maybe she really means that as a policy issue. I don't know. I would love to hear from you. I really could care less because, you're going to galvanize and do what you do for Thanksgiving anyway. And I think Thanksgiving has morphed into a lot of reasons as to why family organize, and the actual inception of it has been long forgotten in terms of what it applies in different households. Some people galvanize, eat, and just look at the TV all day and watch football. Some folks go out and do things. Some folks just want to spend family time. It just depends. But if that's the most controversial thing that she has said or done, I can't see anything wrong with her. So I'm interested to hear from you. 773-591-1690. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Brother Wall. I see you all in the chat, and I'm getting a couple messages now. Meanwhile, back on the ranch, what is the intensity around school? School starts in less than 2 weeks, and I've yet to see any advertisement. I don't know what's going on. I'm hoping that the doors will open and they will start on time. But it's very weird. We're starting before the closing of summer, which is officially the commencing of the holiday of Labor Day. And yet I don't hear the buzz. I really don't even hear the sound bells in the school. So I think that as we ramp up and we begin to talk about some things that are coming out of the pipeline here in Chicago, particularly around the school board race, I'm just curious, have you all heard anything? 773-591-1690. So a couple points. We have the gubernatorial candidate hung, this DSA challenge, this rising star, got the Democratic Party shook in the mighty Midwest. Then we also have the hangings that are transforming and enshrining Mississippi for its deep, dark past. And then lo and behold, right here back on the ranch, have you heard? The school is about to start. We'll be back after this break.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats, and get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
On the new episode of Mama, I Made It, Chicago made her. Hollywood embraced her. The South Side's own Lisa Ray McCoy sits down with Samantha Chapman for intimate conversation on Mama, I Made It. From her breakout role in the Players Club to becoming a television icon and entrepreneur, Lisa Ray opens up about her career, her Chicago roots, and the journey behind her success. Don't miss this exclusive interview, streaming now on Vaughn TV. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, the WVON app, or at VON.TV. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture.
WVON traffic and weather now.
No major changes in your travel times as you make your way along the inbound Ryan. We're looking at just about a 21-minute trip still from 95th Street to downtown. Outbound, things are moving really well. There are no problems or delays to report there. As you make your way along the Bishop Ford, no major changes there. Still seeing a minor, ever so slight delay right around 103rd Street as you make your way to the Ryan Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, still moving along at the posted speed. Turning to DuSable Lakeshore Drive, things are clearing up nicely there. We're down to 15 minutes from 67th Street to Jackson, Hollywood to Monroe, down to a 16-minute trip. And the Stevenson, 40 minutes still from I-355 to DuSable Drive outbound will take you 40 as well. And the Eisenhower just dipped down to 45 minutes from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, 45 traveling out. And as you make your way along the Kennedy, that inbound trip from O'Hare to downtown, 32 minutes. Getting to the airport, slightly heavier and slower at 50 minutes. Taking a look at our weather on the humid side this morning, you will feel it as soon as you walk outside. The National Weather Service on rain watch for later today. Temperatures climbing near 80. We've been steadily remaining in the mid 70s so far, but we've made it up to 77 at O'Hare. It's cloudy and 77 in Greater Grand Crossing and 77 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flurnoy on the Talk of Chicago. 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees.
And we are back. The time is 9:24. It's a turbulent Tuesday on the Cleopatra Show. And there's some strange fruit. When it comes to the state of Mississippi, you know, what makes you nervous? Now, some of us got family down there. When I interviewed all of the finest of Mississippi right here at the Blues Festival, we had a lot of private conversation and public for you all to hear. And I straight up asked, how y'all deal with them white folk down there? They said the same how y'all deal with them white folk up there. And, you know, as a, what would my unicorn say? My Pianki would say, you Yankees up there. And I'm talking about those of us that live north in the Midwest, Chicago. I guess they right. You know, do white folk be different in the South? Yes, because there's a clear understanding from my Mississippi friends that are actually listening. They know where they stand, and you know where you stand. And either you're going to stand your ground. So if that is the case, how is it that we're always here with this strange fruit? I have a 29-year-old mother of 4. The latest victim of a hanging in Mississippi. And we're going to talk about this exclusively at the 9:30 hour, but I'm taking your calls. 773-591-1690. Let's talk to Frank. Frank, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Hey, listen, the show is usually stay encouraged and motivated. As far as the school,
Hey, Frank, we're going to put you on hold. Your audio's in and out. We're going to put you on hold. I want to say hello to Shirley. She's listening all the way from Philadelphia. I see folks are checking in. Good morning, Candy. She says she's present for class. Billie Holiday, strange fruit. Absolutely. Donald Ford says hangings, boyfriend related, no race card involved. We don't know that. So before we insinuate, the mother did say as she was being interviewed that he lived down the street. But we've also reported on at least 4 that I could think of. And I'm going to ask Sonia during the break. We had a young brother that was hanging right in, I think it was Mississippi State University. So we've had several. So whatever it is, whether it's race related or not, that is a very unique practice in Mississippi. You just string them up, right? Now, one can say in Chicago, we have a different way of doing things too. You just shoot them up, right? But what is notoriously found often in Mississippi is some strange fruit. That's undeniable. Let's go back to Frank. His audio's better. Hey, Frank.
I just want to speak. Thanks for taking my call.
Mhm.
I want to speak about there was a shooting at an elementary school, Mark Twain Elementary School,
Yes.
where two janitors were killed. That was really weird because I don't know. I can't figure that. I'm glad there was not any students around. Thank God for that. But that's what we're starting at right now. So we got to figure out what happened there. The media is not talking much about it. They kind of did a bleep on it, but to me it's major. If my children is going to Mark Twain, I want to know what's going on. Because I don't know if they're going to be going to Mark Twain. You know what I mean? Yeah. So let's take my call.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as I suggested, super producer would tell me it was Delta State University. I remember that now, a young brother. And to Frank's call, we're going to investigate that. The 2 custodial staff members that were shot to death in Mark Twain Elementary. That was very odd, extremely. And that happened here in Chicago. Let's talk to Cliff. Cliff, welcome to WVON.
Hey, Grand Rising, Sister Cleopatra. Thanks for taking my call. Listen, I'm just tuning in, and I apologize if I'm off subject. So, is this open?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Okay, listen. What I want to do is discuss yesterday's interview with the mayor. Okay, I try to go back to get the conclusion of that interview. Thank you so much for having that. And let me start off by saying, was the issue of reparations ever brought up with the mayor?
No, not at that time. No. I my biggest get was you running her now, but I mean we talked about a few things. I'm gonna have him back though, because you're right to pin that.
All right, okay. And the reason why I brought this up because obviously he's trying to consider re-election. Okay, and even though I'm in Connecticut, but people are watching what's happening in Chicago. And let me say this: that in New York, okay, and apparently the biggest issue with the Black community is obviously the sanctuary city and the illegal immigrants, okay, which is understandable. So let me go back and deal what happened in New York. So we had former Mayor Eric Adams, the same situation, an influx of illegal immigrants, right? And what he did, he went to Joe Biden and asked for help and asked for money to deal with this situation because you had the same logistics in terms of housing, employment, the whole 9 yards. And what was happening in Harlem, you had vacant buildings that weren't occupied. But then all of a sudden with these legal immigrants, it was a consideration that this money be directed towards renovating these vacant school buildings to house these immigrants. So because of the fact that he couldn't get any leverage with Biden, he then went and spoke with Trump. And when that happened, man, the SHIT hit the fan. And so all the black people, man, went against them, the whole black leadership, and then they want to support Mandani, okay, who's this democratic socialist. So free this, free that, free all that. And the blacks went for it. And I'm saying that to say this is that now on the other afternoon show last week, you had Willie Wilson. Okay, I brought up the issue. He took a call. I brought up the issue of reparations. How does he plan to deal with this if he wants to run as a Republican? And he just pretty much said, I want to be inclusive of everybody, so we get this everybody thing. So I'm glad he had a vision. But with black Republicans, they seem to avoid this issue with reparations. It's not a concern. And I'm a little disappointed with Mr. Wilson because he wanted to be inclusive. We're talking about reparations specifically for black people, whether it be education, whether it be healthcare, whether it be in terms of financing. We need reparations, and especially Sister Cleopatra, I'm almost done. When we're talking about what's happening in this administration, losing DEI, everything that we have gained is in jeopardy. So you mean to tell me black leadership and we can't address the issue of reparations? We should. As a matter of fact, his response sounds similar, and I call him White Boy Jim. He's a frequent caller.
I gotta let you go, Cliff. I'm at a break. But listen, guys,
the next time you talk to Mayor Johnson, he needs to speak about reparation with his plan.
I said I'm a pin Cliff, but we had a hard break. Okay. Listen, guys, I'm at a hard break. When we come back, I'm going to continue the conversation on the Mississippi hangings. Cliff, I had to let you go.
Cloudy and muggy today as temperatures climb near 80. Good morning. I'm Annette Fornoy, and here's what's happening. Mayor Brandon Johnson has named Ashley Gaberish as the next Chief Financial Officer of the City of Chicago. She most recently served as Senior Director and Mid-Central Regional Manager at Fitch Ratings. Her appointment comes after acting CFO Stephen Marr resigned last month. Well, the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office has ID'd 11 of 56 partially decomposed bodies found at a South Chicago funeral home. Governor Pritzker is calling the owners of South Chicago Chapel on East 95th Street bad actors.
Look, this shouldn't happen. And what does happen now is enforcement, right?
The medical examiner's office says the process to identify the remains could take quite a few days. No criminal charges have yet been filed against the couple operating the funeral home, Clark and Johanna Morgan. The investigation continues. Well, the Powerball jackpot is inching closer to $1 billion. No one matched all numbers in last night's drawing. The jackpot now sits at $929 million with a cash value of almost $392 million. The next Powerball drawing is Wednesday, August 12th. And the sights and sounds of the Chicago Air and Water Show starts this week as practice flyovers began happening. The Air and Water Show is this weekend. Now, the 2026 Air and Water Show kicks off this weekend, August 15th and 16th. About 1 million people are expected to pack the lakefront with lawn chairs, blankets, and of course, people will be looking from their high-rise windows. The best view in the house is at North Avenue Beach and along the lakefront from Fullerton Avenue to Oak Street. The city is advising folks to get out there early and stake out a spot and to use public transportation, as there is no parking at those beaches this weekend because of the Air and Water Show. Millennium Garages offer reservations for special event parking. That's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 9:34.
This is Kamini Khan, certified financial planner professional. For the past year, I've been on a mission to change lives and build wealth in our community. Together, we're changing the paradigm. This year, I'm back with a new series, Wealth Strategies, Money Talk. Join me every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on the Rufus Williams Show as we have thoughtful discussions around building wealth in our community. We'll discuss topics like investing, savings, tax strategies, retirement, and all things money. Yes, that's Tuesday at 8:30 a.m., so set those alarms. Also, be sure to check out the podcast at WVONWealthShow.com.
Komini Khan is a certified financial planner professional with Optimal Planning Partners in alliance with Equitable Advisors, LLC member SIPC in Oak Brook, Illinois. For more information, please call 630-575-5046.
It's the afternoon show.
Those people that are saying, I am not my ancestors, are speaking from a place of privilege only given to them by their ancestors. So how can you come here now, right, when they've shed all the blood, when they've been bitten by all the dogs, when they've been hosed down by all the hoses, when they've been slapped in the face by all the cops, and here you come after laws have been passed to say what you wouldn't allow? I am not my ancestors. I think that is insanely disrespectful.
Weekdays at 3 on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Why make things harder than they need to be? There's a better way to save time and money. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Of course, this time of day, we're seeing across the board improvements in your travel times. Along the Ryan, you're down to 18 minutes from 95th Street into downtown. Outbound, things are quiet. If you're on the Bishop Ford and Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, you're once again moving along at the posted speed. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, back to normal there as well in both directions. If you're on the Stevenson, you're down to 35 minutes from I-355 to DuSable Lakeshore Drive, 35 traveling out. The Eisenhower, a 45-minute trip from Thorndale to the Burn Circle. Outbound will take you 40. And checking in on the Kennedy, you're down to 28 minutes in from O'Hare to downtown. Getting to the airport, just about a 34-minute trip. Taking a look at our weather, hot and sticky today. The National Weather Service says we're under a severe thunderstorm warning, mainly, though, in outlying areas such as DeKalb and Boone counties. We could see wind gusts in those areas up to 70 miles per hour. Temperatures steady right now in the upper 70s. We're looking at 77 at O'Hare, it's 77 in Harvey, and 77 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Vernoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
You are the sunshine of my life. That's why I'll always be around. You are the apple of my eye. Forever you'll stay in my heart. I feel like this is the beginning. Though I've loved you for a million years. And if I thought our love was
Now to the death of Tasia Fortune, a 29-year-old woman found hanging from a tree in Mississippi. Her family now speaking out. Faith Abube has the latest for us. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Robin. Tasia Fortune's death has alarmed a lot of people, sparking fears about racially motivated murders. Now, police haven't said exactly how she died, but this morning, her mother telling our team that she knows her daughter did not do this to herself.
This morning, growing demands for answers in Mississippi after a 29-year-old mother of four was found dead, hanging from a tree.
We're going to press this as far as we can press it until she gets justice.
Tasia Fortune's body was discovered last week behind a vacant house in Jackson. The family telling ABC News the circumstances surrounding her death do not add up.
Tasia loved living life. Like, there's no way that she took her own life.
The Jackson Police Department saying, quote, an active death investigation is underway. They have not named any suspects and declined to comment on local reports that they questioned the father.
And we are back. The time is 9:40. And as we're anticipating our guest, that clip was very familiar to the one that I opened with. And when we think about, again, a 29-year-old mom of 4 found hanging Tasia Fortune. This is very unfortunate. This is becoming a behavioral pattern, right? That is familiar down in the South, especially Mississippi. And I think that is unique, especially when it comes to Black culture. Undeniably, why are we in such denial about what it is and what it's going to be? Particularly when we seek justice. I think that is exclusive when it comes to our understanding of what is our fight and our plight here in America as Black people surviving America. So as we wait and anticipate for our colleague down in Mississippi at the Jackson Advocate, I want to hear from you. 773-591-1690. Now, back on the ranch, I see Hung is on CNN, so I want you all to pay attention to the national uptick, right? This is a national show. Hung is the gubernatorial candidate that has taken the Democratic Party by a whirlwind, so much so that the challenger that was initially in the race dropped out and dropped back in. She's up, she's beating him 20 points, allegedly. But they're trying to allude that she may be too extreme. And a world of extremism at the top of the ticket, right there, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I can't understand that. I literally can't. I was going to ask you all, here's the question of the day, because I found it to be peculiar for those of us that read the New York Times. Here it is. Some exclusive reporting came out just last night, and I loved it. Thank you so much, Lawrence O'Donnell, for breaking this news. But Trump, help me understand, why is Trump flying like a stowaway? Literally, the Iranians' death threat was so credible that they refused to allow him to fly his plane from Qatar, removed him from the back via a catering cart, and put him on a whole different opportunity, and left the people that was flying with him, the reporters and everybody, on the plane that was viable for harm and damage, and they flew him elsewhere. So the threats on his life are so credible. He flew like a stowaway. Now, if this was Joe Biden, he would be coward Joe Biden. He would be this. He's not a strong man. He needs testosterone. I mean, the white mainstream media would go bananas. They went bonkers when Obama wore a tan suit. Here it is, bone spurs. The commander-in-chief was too scared to fly in the plane that he rode in because the threat was so credible. He went out like a stowaway. Where is the news media on that? And you know why it's not there? Because there's a thing there. And here it is, the commander-in-chief, who's supposed to be the commander-in-chief of both the Navy, the Army, the Marine, the Air Force, was so scared. He flew out the back way in a catering cart, and then they superimposed him back on the plane as though he came and he rode with the other people. Now, who leaked that? Help me understand. Is this the Twilight Zone? What is happening? So I'm just asking, why is the commander-in-chief flying like a stowaway? Help me understand. Let's talk to Keith. Keith, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Wow. Good morning, Lord have mercy. Good morning, Mrs. Draper. Thank you for the forum and giving us a chance to speak in it. I have a simple question. I have a simple inquiry. If the South has treated us the way it has and is, how do we feel about buying product, visiting, and moving to the South? I know the South is nice. It's quiet in places and scenic and everything, and Tropicana orange juice tastes good. But expletive. If they treat us the way we do, why do we sell ourselves out by encouraging their economy and capacity or ability to do it? I spoke with the senator from what was that, Memphis, came to church a few weeks ago or whatever, and I said, how's Tennessee feeling about the reduction of Jack Daniel purchases and alcohol purchases from there? He says they feel it. Why don't we do as the Canadians do and say, hey, you gonna treat us like this? We hold a good portion of society's income and spending power. Why don't we look at the labels and decide, hey, Tropicana ain't worth it? Thank you, ma'am. Good day.
I mean, but listen, Keith,
Yes,
if
ma'am.
that's the case, when are our young men gonna stop playing in the South? Whether it be football, basketball, anything that is a spirited activity that they enjoy, that comes at our expense, whether it's
True,
mental,
very-
emotional, or otherwise.
Very true, Mrs. Draper. But this is an inquiry to the greater, to your greater listening audience. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about giving your money to the enemy to treat you the way it does?
Good point. Good point. Well, listen, our guest is here. Let's bring up Angela Simpson Buckner. She is a fierce journalist with the Jackson Advocate and founder of the Mike magazine. And we are tapping her to give us some of the tea on the unfortunate death of Tasia Fortune that was found hanging. I need to understand, Angela, what is being said about this and where are we at thus far?
Can you bring me up after the commercial break?
I sure can.
And
Let's take a break.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
Get your outfits, grab your crew, and get on board with the Me Plus 3 special starting at $1,000 per person. This time, join the Foundation Fantastic Voyage 2025 cruise will be fun, entertaining, and this will be a once-in-a-lifetime event with seminars, fitness workouts, parades, concerts, and much more starting at $1,000. Call 214-495-1963 to book your Me Plus 3 cabin. Prices are based on 4 passengers in the cabin, so book today while they last and before cabins are sold out.
WVON traffic and weather now.
No major changes this traffic break. You're still looking at a 19-minute trip along the Ryan from 95th Street into downtown. Outbound things are pretty quiet. Things remain quiet along the Bishop Ford and Tuskegee Airmen Memorial. DuSable Lakeshore Drive in pretty good shape. Just a 13-minute trip in from 67th Street to Jackson. Some minor delays right around Roosevelt Road and Monroe. That's mainly due to stoplight delays. Taking a look at our weather on the humid side today. The National Weather Service is on severe thunderstorm watch. They're saying mainly in outlining areas. Those areas could see wind gusts as high as 70 miles per hour. Right now, it's cloudy with temperatures in the upper 70s, still remaining holding steady at 77 at O'Hare, cloudy and 77 in Harvey, and 77 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 9:51, and we're taking an exclusive look into Mississippi with Angela Simpson Buckner, who's on the live line with us. She writes with Jackson Advocate, and we're going back to you to talk about Tasia Fortune.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Cleopatra, for having me on your show this morning. First off, we want to start by giving Nancy Grace her walking papers because with this Nolan Wells situation, she has taken a turn.
Hold on, wait. Before we go to Nolan, wait. I want to talk about Tasia. Hold on. Give us the update on Tasia. We're going to go back to Nolan.
The update on Tasia is this. We were able to find information about her going to Kentucky, going to see her family, and just days later, she's found dead. She's a mother of four. To my knowledge, no one has declared what her cause of death is. Now, some people are saying that her cause of death is suicide, but I'm not sure if that is true. If people are saying that she's unalived herself, or if that information came directly from the medical examiner here in the state of Mississippi. But again, she's a mother of four. She had just seen her family, and, they were able to find a person of interest right away. Now, with this person of interest, they're saying that he was the last person seen arguing with her. And he was picked up on a warrant for an unrelated charge.
So
unrelated charge.
Unrelated. So he's not a person of interest.
He's not a suspect.
Okay.
He's not a suspect, right?
But as I listen to the clip of her mother, now she's a mother of four, 29. Her mother says she wouldn't do this to herself. Help us to understand, what is it when it comes to Mississippi and these hangings? What do you think it is?
To me, Cleopatra, and I'm just going to be honest, I believe this is a part of some type of initiation. I truly do. I believe it's given like hazing. It's given like, if you want to be a part of us, you have to do this type stuff. So, and I could be wrong, but that's what is given. And of course, we do know the historic things that happen across this state of Mississippi that, you cannot run from. You can't deny it. And violence has always been a thing in the state of Mississippi when it comes from leadership, because if we look back, Mississippi had its first Black lieutenant governor right after Reconstruction. His name was Alexander K. Davis. And he was run out of Mississippi. It was a biracial ticket. He had a white governor and a Black lieutenant governor. And a campaign of violence was spewed out because he only did 2 years. Now, just imagine 2 years of terror, according to history, right? And this is the campaign that plagues this state even until this very day. Violence.
And then what is being said in the community? Because there is a rich history associated with hangings in Mississippi.
Yes, it is.
Is it a numbing effect? Is it a chilling effect? What is the response?
The response that I'm getting, Cleopatra, is this. We're not our grandparents. We're not our great-grandparents. And we're not going away. We want to know, why is it that a medical examiner in the past few years has declared something accidental, suicidal, undetermined? We want answers. And, you know, Cleopatra, I believe that if we can get legislators to push the fact that we need more transparency coming from our coroners and our medical examiners, I believe we can get somewhere with this thing, because we're not telling you to leave your job. We want you to do your job. And that's with law enforcement as well, because they are the ones who ended up having to call coroners and then getting the medical examiners involved.
So again, that goes back to the depth of Black Lives Mattering. The fact that we even have to call to take the extra step. Would that be the case if this was a white person hanging from a tree? Let me ask you this. Historically, in your memory, are you a native of Mississippi?
I am.
Have you ever heard of a white person being found hung on a tree?
Absolutely. Just last year in Vicksburg, if I'm not mistaken.
What was the result of that?
Well, now they're saying that there was like a homeless area where people were camped out at.
I think I remember that, actually. All right. So outside of that, are there other scenarios?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. And I believe that was just to throw it off, you know, just to be honest. And when you have white people who stand up for Black people, they get the same punishment. So that's what I'll say about that.
That has always been the historical case since
That's right.
before the Reconstruction era, that they would punish Quakers all day, every day, especially if they were caught supporting enslaved Africans. Well,
That's
you
right.
know, for what it's worth, is the reporting, is there a coroner report available at this point? When was she found?
She was found, I believe, 3 or 4 days after the incident had taken place. But I don't know the specific date. Maybe August the 6th. I'm not sure.
Okay, and there are no further details at this point.
At this point, the story is continuing to develop. Now, I do hear people saying that there was some domestic violence involved, but I'm again, that muddies the water, and I'm not certain anything about that. Okay, but with her mother saying she wouldn't do that to herself, it makes me wonder: had she broken away from that guy and started dating a white guy? You know, this is the trend now. Hey, everybody, I go with a white man. Hey, everybody, I'm dating a white girl. You know, and you know what happened here? That's the question. We don't know. We don't know if they broke up. You know, they probably broke up. People argue all the time, Cleopatra. It doesn't mean that they're going to kill somebody.
Right. Well, listen, I'm going to hold you over because I wanted to definitely give some special attention to Tasia, which is the newest episode, but I'm glad that you have some more food for thought about Nolan Wells, and I want you to report back to us on that, because we have kept the fire for Nolan, but it is also growing legs. It is spiraling across social media for sure. And my heart still bleeds for his family. So listen, we are talking to Angela Simpson Buckner. We have pulled up to Mississippi, and there are a multitude of cases pouring out of Mississippi that is unfortunate, especially given the devastation of just our quality of life issues that are transforming the country up and down. The ballot on the ticket is affordability, but Mississippi has such a rich history of hunting Black people that it hasn't stopped in 2026. When we return, we're going to continue to talk to Angela about the death and the murder, potentially, of Nolan Wells, and what are the updates and where we're at with some of the personalities that have weighed in. You don't want to miss this.
The National Weather Service says a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect in our outlying areas. Our area could see rain. On this Tuesday, August 11th, 2026, I'm Anna Bernoy, and in the headlines, a new batch of tickets to the Obama Presidential Center go on sale 10 a.m. tomorrow. The tickets are for visits January 4th through the 31st. The city of Chicago is offering transportation assistance for seniors. And the sights and sounds of the Chicago Air and Water Show starts this week as practice flyovers begin happening. National news from the Black Information Network is next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 10 o'clock.
It's BIN News Now. President Trump says Republicans could face turnout challenges in next year's midterm elections because he won't be on the ballot.
The question is, will they vote? Because a lot of them are very angry at Republicans, to be honest with you.
Despite those concerns, Trump tells Punchbowl News he's stepping up campaign efforts and remains confident Republicans will maintain control of both the House and Senate. President Trump has signed new executive orders aimed at limiting birthright citizenship and curbing so-called birth tourism. The actions are expected to face immediate legal challenges, with critics arguing they conflict with longstanding interpretations of the 14th Amendment. And R&B fans may have a major versus battle on the way. Donnell Jones says he and fellow singer Joe are set to face off in a song-for-song showdown on August 20th, though an official announcement has not yet been made. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Terry McCready.
New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani is doubling down on calls for President Trump to extend temporary protected status for Haitian and Syrian immigrants after a Supreme Court ruling ended the program. Mamdani blaming the federal government as the city is moving to terminate employees who were previous TPS holders.
We are only taking the actions that we are forced to take when it comes to what we want to see in this city and in this country. It is the extension of TPS. It is ensuring that these New Yorkers are recognized for what they are, which is New Yorkers, and that they are here, they are at home.
Mayor said the city was providing free legal consultations to those looking at other forms of work authorization. Meanwhile, the DHS would not say if ICE raids were going to target Haitian immigrants, but said it is not too late for anyone concerned to self-deport. The identity of a Madison, Wisconsin police officer who fatally shot a 38-year-old black man last month has been disclosed. The killing of Corey Ruiz has sparked protests in the state's capital over the way people of color are treated by authorities. Keel Badinger-Peterson has over a decade of law enforcement experience, and he's the officer who fired the deadly shots, according to the Wisconsin Department of Justice's Division of Criminal Investigation. Police say he was among 3 other officers surrounding Ruiz, who was on a bike at the time in response to reports of someone checking out parked cars and an alleged attempted burglary. Badinger-Peterson and the other officers are all on paid administrative leave while the state investigation continues. President Trump says Iran should pay damages for the harm the regime has inflicted on the world for the past 50 years. Trump was asked about Iran's latest demands yesterday as negotiations play out with the U.S.
They asked for money for the damage that we've done. And I said, that's a good idea. Well, we're going to ask for money for the damage they've done over a 50-year period. Whether you go SS Cole or whether you go all of the people that were so badly hurt, so badly wounded or killed.
Over the weekend, Iran had a number of demands for the U.S., including that the U.S. must completely compensate Iran for damages from the 5-month-long war. Trump also told White House reporters that the U.S. controls the Strait of Hormuz. Voters in a handful of states are heading to the polls for primary day. 11 Minnesota lawmakers are facing challengers inside their own parties. The Hennepin County Attorney contest and multiple legislative races are on tap. Low voter turnout could be a major factor in the outcomes. In Wisconsin, Democratic Socialist Francesca Hong is seeking to score a 4-way Democratic primary for governor, where her top opponent, David Crowley, has been endorsed by the governor. Other primary elections underway today are in Connecticut and Vermont. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow VIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
This is Kamini Khan, certified financial planner professional. For the past year, I've been on a mission to change lives and build wealth in our community. Together, we're changing the paradigm. This year, I'm back with a new series, Wealth Strategies, Money Talk. Join me every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on the Rufus Williams Show as we have thoughtful discussions around building wealth in our community. We'll discuss topics like investing, savings, tax strategies, retirement, and all things money. Yes, that's Tuesday at 8:30 a.m., so set those alarms. Also, be sure to check out the podcast at WVONwealthshow.com.
Komini Khan is a certified financial planner professional with Optimal Planning Partners in alliance with Equitable Advisors LLC member SIPC in Oak Brook, Illinois. For more information, please call 630-575-5046. On the new episode of Mama, I Made It, Chicago made her. Hollywood embraced her. The South Side's own Lisa Ray McCoy sits down with Samantha Chapman for intimate conversation on Mama, I Made It. From her breakout role in the Players Club to becoming a television icon and entrepreneur, Lisa Ray opens up about her career, her Chicago roots, and the journey behind her success. Don't miss this exclusive interview, streaming now on Vaughn TV. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, the WVON app, or at VON.TV. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture.
Play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON.
I was having a medical procedure, and I wanted to ensure my kids would get my home should something happen to me. I called attorney Ted London. He provided the land, trust, and power of attorney. Now my kids will not have to go through the probate process.
After the death of my husband, I had to get my affairs in order. I called attorney Ted London. Now my family and home will not have to go through the probate process.
773-721-3333.
This report is brought to you by Jewel Osco. Shop Jewel Osco and catch the savings on seafood. Fresh Atlantic salmon fillets are $5.99 a pound. Limit 10 pounds. Plus, Waterfront Bistro 26 to 30 count easy peel raw shrimp is also $5.99 a pound. Limit 4 pounds.
WVON traffic and weather now.
No major changes in your travel time. In fact, most of the expressways at this time are moving along at the posted speed. The Ryan, no problems or delays, just a few brake lights right around Pershing Road as you make your way to the Stevenson Expressway. The Eisenhower, we're seeing a minor slowdown right around Independence as you make your way to California. Taking a look at our weather. The National Weather Service says we're under extreme weather advisory, a severe thunderstorm warning, that is. That's mainly in the outlining areas like DeKalb and Boone counties, where wind gusts could whip up as high as 70 miles per hour with pea-sized hail. Our area is expected to get some fallout rain because of it. Temperatures still in the upper 70s. Right now, we are hovering at 77 still at Midway. Temperatures roll back to 76 in South Shore and raining right now and 76 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Illinois on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's the Cleopatra Show on Chicago's essential storyteller, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 10:08, and you're listening to the Cleopatra Show. And of course, it's a turbulent Tuesday, and we pulled up into Mississippi. You know, unfortunately, I'm reporting another hanging of a young mother, 29, mom of 4, Tasia Fortune. And in addition to that, we've asked our colleague Angela Simpson Buckner, who writes with the Jackson Advocate and the founder of The Mike magazine, to spill some tea about any updates on Nolan and those that are jumping in, because I've seen a lot of activity and some legs vastly growing and the thoughts behind Nolan Wells' death. So I'll ask you, Angela, give us an update.
As it relates to an update with Nolan, the question still remains, what happened to Nolan Wells? We are waiting for the grand jury to decide if they will hand down an indictment. Anything else, that's PR. Anything else is a distraction. Anything else is solely a distraction.
No, I appreciate that. And you were saying something about Nancy.
Yes. Okay, and so what I was saying is Nancy Grace, as the black delegation and the delegation that is wrapping their arms around Nolan Wells, our white and black friends, this delegation is asking Nancy Grace to step to the side. Thanks for riding Greyhound. Watch your step down, because her narrative is changing. And I was told by an older woman from Mississippi, Nancy is with us right now, but when they start threatening her, if they threaten her, she will start changing her narrative. And now she's talking about things that have nothing to do with the information that has come out. Why do I say information? Because this is information that has come directly from agencies, okay? And that's what we were looking and dependent on Nancy to talk about, as things that could possibly be evidence and submitted to the grand jury, what the grand jury could possibly do. This is what we were looking for from Nancy, not her trying to go along and talk about things that are coming along lately that has nothing to do with what that evidence is that has been presented from those various agencies, meaning the timeline, the audio, the autopsy information from his attorney, things like that. And so she's now stepping away from that, and we're watching her really closely, and we're calling that out.
Yeah, Nancy doesn't really grace my screen. Is she popular in the South?
She's a Southerner. So in my opinion, I believe so. And right before this happened, Nancy was reporting on, and I'm a follower of Nancy Grace, okay? She was talking about scientists who have come up missing, just out of thin air, just vanished. And so that's what she was talking about prior to Nolan Wells. And before that, I had to go and do research and see that she had talked so bad about Carmelo Anthony's case. And so now I'm watching her closely, because I've done a song said Nancy Grace took the case, but then I said, let me wait and let me watch Nancy and see if she's going to take a turn. And she did. She did. And so we're thanking her for her influence and all of the attention that she has garnered for this Nolan Wells situation. But, like I said here on this station before, she's behind the eight ball. Mississippi, Kelvin Barnett has made certain, and Bree Lee, they're down there on the coast. They were the ones who were talking about, hey, y'all, help us find our Facebook nephew. Help us find him. And Bree Lee is a white girl on the coast who was out there way before Nancy Grace. As a matter of fact, if you're asking for development, Bree Lee is the one who actually just gave us a picture that was submitted to her anonymously of the doctor and the governor of the great state of Mississippi standing together. And so this has to be looked at. This is the stuff that Nancy should be talking about, but she's not. And again, Mississippi is here. Our independent media outlets, we are here, and we were here before Nancy got here, and we will still be here.
I know that's right, sister. Ooh, I'm scared of you. They ought to be scared when you show up. You make them nervous when you pull out your pen and pad or your recorder.
I don't like to think so. I think people look for transparency, and they know that's what we will deliver.
I know that's right. That's why they're reading this paper. Listen, guys, the Jackson Advocate has a fierce sister that is all over that beat like sprinkles. You hear her, Angela Simpson Buckner, and she just wants the truth, right? Shine a light on the truth and stay the course. Don't be hipping and stopping. And now Nancy got to take Greyhound bus and get off the bus. We was gonna get her on the bus, and Spike Lee. Now you want her off the bus because she ain't worthy we got to roll over on her. Like, it's too bad. It's too bad. But keep us updated, because as the story evolves, and usually I try to not touch a life-changing story such as Tasia Fortune, but I was just so devastated because she's a mother of 4. So please keep us abreast about not only Tasia, but of course Nolan and the tempo, the temperature of Mississippi. I'm curious, as you all hodgepodge, good and bad, both black and white, who is determined for justice You know, it could be any of our children. I'm curious of what happens in Mississippi.
And I am too. And just to be clear, when you say we have to roll over on her, we want to make them know that that is not a threat, that is only a figure of speech.
No, roll over me, flip the page, turn the page, roll over the station. I don't even watch Nancy. I haven't heard about a Nancy Grace. See, in the city of Chicago, she doesn't exist. Sorry. But in the South, she matters.
Wow.
So when we say roll over, just keep scrolling.
Keep scrolling. Gotcha.
Right. Absolutely. And then thank you for that point of clarity. Have no problem with expounding upon my disdain for why are we supporting. But to your point, we want to know what you're saying. No different than when I sneak a peek at Fox for all of what I can tolerate. Maybe 2 minutes. You know, I could tolerate 2 minutes.
I watch them all.
Oh, God bless you.
My mentor told me, hey, you need to make certain that you know the conversations that are happening so that you can have an intelligent one. And you can only stomach 2 minutes. I probably can do 20.
Well, okay? I mean, but I do read it all. So
yeah,
I think the performative, you could miss me with it, that 2 minutes. But what I do love is when they stumble and bumble over the Captain Obvious, because if it was anybody else, you would flay them. So I love when they are trying to actually abruptly end an interview because it is spiraled or it's false, like brutally false, like riddled with lies, and they're trying to back out of that. That is
case in point.
I enjoy that.
Case in point, for the 250th, when they were supposed to have a whole bunch of people out there, and they had the screen set up as like it was a football game or something, you know, so you could see the people in the back, but they only had about 10 people. And the next block over, it was reported by independent media that it was packed. They were trying to say that the weather was bad, but it was not. That's their narrative.
But here's the deal: the extremity of where they went. Have you no shame, no insult level? I mean, as far as the eye can see, it was just nobody there, and they had exclusive coverage. So I did enjoy more than 2 minutes of that because it was almost unbelievable, right? So watching that was the most pitiful use of your tax dollars and mine, right? Well, we are a country where we won't even feed the poor, but we will spend millions. So as we laugh at this, I am just disgusted at how far these people are willing to go, just like they casted that vote in the dark of the night, in the heat of the night for Todd Blanche. You know, these people have doomed us all. And yet, if we don't get them out, you know, what will become of this country? So I think we're at a very pressing point that is very obvious to me. And hopefully folks will do the right thing. And it starts by declaring what is just and what is right.
Well, I want to take it all the way back, Cleopatra, when they broke away from their mother country. This country was forged in violence. Okay, so we cannot get away from that. They were willing to kill each other. Okay, and this is white on white prior to Black people getting involved. You know, I think that was the American Revolution or something like that. And so they were willing to fight their own mother country, and they were supposed to. This America, from what I can remember, is supposed to be like a Walmart center, a distribution center where you go get the goods and you take it back home. You go get the goods and you ship it back home. And they say, well, you know what? I don't like Walmart or whatever distribution center you may want to say you can associate with this analogy. And I think we're going to stay here. We're going to stop sending it over. And so it was forged in rebellion. This nation is a rebellious nation, historically speaking. And that's the point I'm trying to make. And so with Black people, it only amplified when it came to Black. And Black people were here. A lot of us were already here. So don't buy into that narrative or the propaganda that we came on boats. Everybody didn't come on boats. My mom told me we came from Native American people. We have indigenous blood in our lineage. So I don't know anything about coming here from a boat.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're out of time, but I appreciate it. We will have you back soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Cleopatra.
Absolutely. When we come back, Tommy, Mark, I see you on the live line and I see you all in the chat. You don't want to miss this.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Girls, Where have you been? My laundry got backed up. I had so much laundry, I felt like the help, but I found the truth.
You became a Jehovah's Witness?
I found Clean Break. For less than the price of a good meal, Clean Break washed and folded my clothes and had them smelling fresh the way I like.
It's gotta be inexpensive. You know all the hookups.
Darn Skippy. I wasn't about to pay no $100 for 2 bags of clothes, and I caught the WVON discount.
Girl, sign me up. I'm sold.
Try Clean Break today for just $25 per bag, including pickup and delivery. Call 708-980-7886 or visit cleanbreak.com. That's KLEANBREAK.com. Clean Break, fresh clothes, more free time. Get your weekends back.
So fresh and so clean, break.
When it comes to celebrating our Chicagoland communities, Wintrust is here for it. We are proud to support small businesses in our own backyards, like Pies of London, authentic English savory meat pies made with the best ingredients, located at 1071 Rolling Road in Elk Grove Village. Pop-in Plates, kitchen rentals, catering, and classes at 64 Lester Road in Park Forest. And Fusion Beauty Academy, professional training for cosmetology and more, located at 18 Ohio Street in Joliet.
Get your outfits, grab your crew, and get on board with the Me Plus 3 special starting at $1,000 per person. This time, join the Foundation Fantastic Voyage 2025 cruise will be fun, entertaining, and this will be a once-in-a-lifetime event with seminars, fitness workouts, parades, concerts, and much more starting at $1,000. Call 214-495-1963 to book your Me Plus 3 cabin. Prices are based on 4 passengers in the cabin, so book today while they last and before cabins are sold out.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Right now it's raining. Luckily, traffic is pretty light as you make your way along the Ryan, the Bishop Ford, and Tuskegee Airmen Memorial. You will move along at the posted speed. Right now along DuSable Lakeshore Drive, not bad. That northbound trip, no problems, no delays. However, as you approach Roosevelt Road and Monroe, we are seeing a few brake lights. That's mainly due to stoplight delays. Taking a quick look at our weather, it is raining. The National Weather Service says we're under a severe thunderstorm warning at this time, mainly in outlining areas, but we are seeing an effect because of it. We also could see wind gusts pretty high in those areas, up to 70 miles per hour. Right now, as I mentioned, it is raining. Temperatures are beginning to roll back because of it in the clouds. We're back down to 76 at Midway, is 76 in Dalton, and 76 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Vernoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 10:24, and it's a Turbulent Tuesday on the Cleopatra Show. And I want to thank Angela Simpson Buckner for hanging out with us. She always keeps us abreast of what is going on in Mississippi. You know, it's a lot happening down there. And some of us got family, but I try to spill a little tea and talk to other Black journalists across the country. And I believe Celia and I do a yeoman's job with that, and I appreciate the effort. Now, going to the chat before I get to the calls, Thalia Cook says, what's a stowaway? So the question of the day is this. Why Trump flying like a stowaway? Now, when you look it up now, I thought I might have spelled it wrong, but no, I didn't. A stowaway is a phrase that means to leave a place quietly, secretly, without being noticed. There was a breaking, scathing story that happened in the night, last night. But of course, Lawrence O'Donnell, none come across his desk. And the New York Times bust out your president for flying, scared. He insistently accepted this illegal jet from Qatar, and it couldn't be retrofitted to the scale of what a president flies in. And even with our tax dollars, they couldn't bring it up to par. So the point is, he didn't have the patience to wait for the new one, because the new one he would never fly in if he was to live throughout his term. So the threat was so validating that from the Iranians that they made him leave out of a catering truck, like a container, if you will, and put him on another plane. Now, here's the kicker, and this is what bothered me. So you left the press in a plane that was already on a threatening watch because they wanted to, upend the life of Trump. And then you left them on a plane. Then you landed the same plane wherever they were going next, and then put him back in the container, put him back on the plane, and made it seem like he was on the plane. Hey, these smoke and mirrors, this is real. Go ahead and look at New York Times. You'll see the story yourself. So I'm asking for the commander in sleep. Why he flying like a stowaway? You are the commander, the chief commanding officer of the armed forces. You are allegedly the president of the free world, and you flying scared. Now, if that had been anybody else, I promise you it would be on loop, because what type of testosterone shots is he taking from Pete Hegseth? You are literally trying to inject men with testosterone shots to beef up their masculinity, and yet you flying skirt. Where they do that at, right? Like, this would be on loop. But anything to run away from the Epstein rape island and its files. Like, you that skirt, you started a war 165 days ago, and you can't get out of it. They dictate terms to him. And the threat was so credible. You left innocent people on a plane because they're hunting him. If that's not dangerous, I don't know what is. And New York Times, they ain't scared. They printed it. And Lawrence O'Donnell delivered it. I went to bed sleeping like a baby. I said, I can't wait to talk about this. So I'm asking you all, now that we've defined stowaway, is to be quietly whisked away. Why Trump flying like a stowaway? I mean, you throwing rocks and now hiding your hands. You started this war and literally cannot get out. That's wild to me. All right. So I want us to really, truly unpack what I'm saying. Hear me out. Let's talk to Mark Clemens. Hey, Mark, I ain't heard from you in a minute. How you feeling? Welcome to WVON.
Hey, how you doing, Cleopatra? One thing that I will say is that Donald Trump has been doing this stuff since his existence. He was primarily a New Yorker that created hell in New York. The Central Park 5, he stated that these young kids should be executed when they were innocent. But one major importance is the hanging in Mississippi. It seems like we as a people, we don't come together. And it's constantly occurring. Just like the bird scandal in the city of Chicago, it went on forever and ever and ever. And Cleopatra, all I would like to see us do is to come together and gain some type of justice. I'm not talking about paying out money, but some justice where that people are prosecuted and they are held accountable for their acts. But you keep up the good work. I do pop in and pop out when work permits me to pop in and whatnot. Keep doing your job and sounding off about the issues that affect Black and brown people in their community. Love you, young lady.
I appreciate it, Mark. Always. When we come back, Tommy, Mark, I see you all on the live line, and we're going to pull up in Atlanta. You don't want to miss this.
It's rainy across the city. We're under a severe thunderstorm watch. Good morning. I'm Anna Flournoy, and here's what's happening. The city of Chicago is offering transportation assistance to seniors. Mayor Brandon Johnson announced a partnership with Lyft, United Way of Metro Chicago, and 211 Metro Chicago. Eligible seniors can receive up to two $25 Lyft rides to run essential errands such as grocery shopping. The initiative is designed to provide support for older adults impacted by the recent closure of Save-A-Lot stores on the city's south and west sides. Well, Mayor Brandon Johnson has yet to announce his plans to run for re-election. In an exclusive in-studio one-on-one yesterday, WVON's Cleopatra tried to get it out of him. WVON's Kayla Patton has more.
The mayor seemed to deflect several of her attempts to get an answer.
Okay. That's clear, right? I mean, the city of Chicago is safer. The city of Chicago is becoming more affordable. Listen, it doesn't mean that we don't have our challenges.
Then when asked a second time, he said, there's more to be done.
I wish more Chicagoans could see the entire city of Chicago the way I've experienced.
And finally, when asked, he simply said that being mayor is one of the joys of his life.
What do you want from us? What do you want from Black Chicago?
Anthony, line 1.
There it is.
To make it on the 2027 ballot, filing petitions must be in by October 26th. Currently, there are nearly a dozen declared candidates vying for Mayor Johnson's job. Kayla Patton, Our News Now, 1690 WVON.
Chicago businessman Willie Wilson is the most recent candidate to enter into the race for mayor. On the afternoon show with Matt McGill, he says giving back is a big part of who he really is. WVON's Logan Page has that story.
Wilson says he has worked hard to build a success and believes in giving back to the community.
How can you argue with success and with giving things to help other people that can't make? I don't take my success and use it and put it just in my pocket. I give away 100% of every penny I make to help people from the heart. And I would do the same thing as Mayor of Chicago.
Dr. Wilson said he knows how to get things done and can surround himself with capable people. He highlighted his experience successfully running a $90 million business and his commitment to supporting the community. Wilson also discussed his ongoing efforts to give back to Chicago residents, including his gas giveaways. Logan Page, Our News Now, WVON, 1690 AM.
He joins a crowded race, including Secretary of State Alexi Janulius, State Comptroller Susanna Mendoza, U.S. Representative Mike Quigley, and Cook County Board of Review Commissioner George Cardenas. Well, Gladys Knight and Brian McKnight are performing at Ravinia tonight. Hopefully the rain will take a break at 7 p.m. The Highland Park venue debuted a newly $70 million renovated pavilion this summer. The Hunter Pavilion has a new stage, seating, lighting, and shops. Well, that's a look at Our News Now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 1034.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Rent a boat, bring your own, or fish from shore. The Forest Preserves of Cook County has more than 40 fishing sites across Cook County. This message brought to you by the Forest Preserves of Cook County. Visit fpdcc.com to explore the forest preserves.
Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON.
This report is brought to you by Jewel Osco. Shop Jewel Osco and catch the savings on seafood. Fresh Atlantic salmon fillets are $5.99 a pound. Limit 10 pounds. Plus, Waterfront Bistro 26 to 30 count easy peel raw shrimp is also $5.99 a pound. Limit 4 pounds.
WVON traffic and weather now.
No changes in your travel times or your roadway conditions. No problems, no delays to report at this time. We're going to jump straight to weather. Right now, we're looking at some severe thunderstorms sweeping across our area. The National Weather Service says they've issued a tornado warning currently in effect for southern DuPage, southeast Kane, that is, northeast Kendall, and southwest Will counties until 11 o'clock this morning. They're asking people to immediately seek shelter in those areas. In our area, we're under a severe thunderstorm warning along with flood advisories. Taking a look at our weather, we just did. Right now, we're taking a look at our temperatures. We're looking at 76 at Midway. It's raining and 76 at the Obama Presidential Center and 76 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 10:37, and it's a turbulent Tuesday on the Cleopatra Show, and apparently it's turbulent outside, so buckle up, Buttercup. We just flew into Atlanta, hot Atlanta, and right now my soror, Keisha Lansbottom, is giving it to him. You know, that gubernatorial race is hotter than the oven. Meanwhile, so is the senatorial race. Jon Ossoff is coming in surging. But between him and Keisha Lansbottom, they like the dynamic duo up in there. And those endorsements are cooking with fish grease. So who do we go tap? Was Donnell Suggs of the Atlanta Voice to give us the tea. And he knows something about it because he writes about it daily. Let's talk to Donnell. Donnell, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Good morning, my sister. How are you?
I am in blessed spirits. It's a turbulent Tuesday. You buckled up, Buttercup?
Amen.
So talk to us. You know, Georgia, I clip out the clip. I love the zingers that are coming out of Ossoff. And I'm talking about Senator Jon Ossoff, who is coming in very hot. And Keisha Lansbottom is surging on this gubernatorial trail. But tell us what's the real deal, because that's just what I see and read.
Well, you're seeing and reading correctly, especially if you're reading the Atlanta Voice and my coverage. But anyway, she is. That campaign is rolling right along. Again, she dominated the midterms, and she is pretty much rolling straight ahead with a message that says, hey, I'm not the other guy. And you might want to make a decision on the fact that it's either him or me, and we're on two different trajectories. And I think voters are going to try to make that decision based on who the people are and less about necessarily their records, because Rick Jackson has no record. He has no political record. Running for governor, basically cold turkey. So, that's a decision a lot of voters have to make. I think they'll make the right one. We'll see.
And when is that race?
November 5th.
Oh, and ours is the 3rd. That's my son's birthday. My son and my mother and her twin. Okay, I
Wait a minute. It might be the 3rd. I apologize. That first Tuesday.
I was about to say, on a Thursday? Okay, yes, a 3rd.
No. Tuesday.
Okay, okay. I'm going to say, come down there. I got to see this. This is going to be historical. All right, so it's the 3rd.
It has the potential to change how the country looks.
Oh, absolutely, because she would be the first Black woman in American history to be governor.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I trust me, I know.
Yeah.
With
Me
Wes
too.
Moore being the first, that's is
Right.
2026 and 2027 is it? That's something. It only took how many years?
You know,
250.
it took 247
Yeah,
to
something.
get a
Yeah,
Black
a
governor.
governor. Yeah. And
Yeah.
her, she would be what 250.
50.
Yeah. No doubt. So
This year?
with that being said, what else is cooking? Because I also saw our Senator Dr. Reverend Raphael Warnock, who has
Mhm.
been on the beat too when it comes to just keeping up with the trail of lies is just hard, but he's fighting a good fight. So where are we with the Democratic Party of Georgia?
Georgia is in a very prime position. We have two Democratic senators for the first time ever in the state's history when they both got elected over the last terms. John Ossoff, the white of the two, is running again for his seat. I believe it's a prime position, but you never want to take a campaign for granted. So he's actually going to be hosting another rally on Sunday in Atlanta. He's running against Mike Collins, who is a name here in the state, but it's already said he's a Trumper. Like, he's not hiding that. He's never hid that. I respect him for that. He's never hid it because it wasn't quote unquote proper at times. And that's who he's running against. And now you're getting Republican support for John Ossoff. Because I believe they believe that Ossoff is really for American people and just to have a party affiliation. Collins doesn't necessarily seem like that. It seems like it's party first. And then, I'll get to what the people need. But first, I got to make sure as a Republican, I'm doing what the party needs. And a lot of voters aren't into that. At least not as much this cycle as they were a couple cycles ago.
Well, one thing I've reported here exclusively, statistically, 1 in every 5 reliable Republican will either sit out and or vote for a Democrat. Now, help us to understand your political apparatus. Can you pull a Democratic ticket? Is it open? In terms of party affiliation.
Not when it comes to senators here.
So you have to register as a Democrat if you want to vote Democrat
in Georgia, or independent. Then register as independent. You can vote whoever you want. You'll get a ballot that has them all on there. But if you have a registered Democrat and you come to the station on the 3rd and you put your little card in the computer, it's going to give you an option for Democratic. Now, in this case, you only have 2 options for senators. So you can vote Republican and be a registered Democrat. You can. So it's not like you don't have the option. But when you do my primaries, that's what you get. But in this case, November, it's every man for himself or woman for themselves.
Very interesting. So what else is going on? Give us some more tea. I mean, outside of the Black political landscape, what else is happening?
Okay. Well, I mean, this is the most important week of the year outside of Election Day. NABJ, the National Association of Black Journalists annual convention will be in Atlanta starting tomorrow.
Really? Oh, yeah, I saw
all
that.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, NABJ. So we have that. Clarissa Shields is fighting a championship fight in Atlanta on Saturday night. The Atlanta Dream is playing the Indiana Fever again on Sunday afternoon. The Atlanta Falcons are having the preseason opener against the Denver Broncos on Friday. The Atlanta Braves are hosting the Mets. That started yesterday. That's going to be all through the week. Then they're hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks all weekend. So if you can't find something to do in Atlanta this week, it's your fault. It's not ours.
Look at all of that economic stimuli coming to Atlanta.
Exactly.
Because that's what it's about. And I talk about that exclusively here in Chicago. And that budget line item will be cultural tourism. And that dollar price sounds outlandish in terms of the opportunities that are allotted to Black excellence to build wealth with all of that visitation from across the country. That is explosive.
It is a flagship. It's what along with the civil rights movement and history here. It's the fact that you can do almost anything in Atlanta. You can host a concert. They go small. You can have a convention. You have multiple conventions at one time if you need to. And obviously, we have every pro sport but hockey. So there's no such thing as, I can't seem to make any money around any events. There's plenty of events. I don't have anything to do. We don't have any way to spend this money. Yes, you do. There's plenty of it. You don't have to go to nightclubs and whatnot because obviously it's not family friendly. You can have family friendly things to do. You can have business things to do like the NABJ. It's just a really good summer for us. We had 7 World Cup matches here. So it hasn't stopped since the beginning of the summer. It just keeps on rolling along. And it's a really a special city to live in, especially if you're a Black business owner, journalist, etc. It really is a special place to be.
I appreciate that. And last but not least, what's the temperature of Trump in Georgia? Because you uniquely are made up of, a predominantly red state with some blue little islands. And yet his approval rate is 30-70. 30% approve, 70 disapprove of where we're at completely in the country. It has nothing to do with just a category. It's just 30% flat and 70% are like, hey, who voted for this guy? And then they forget that they voted for him. So let us know what's going on with that.
I think it's very popular to say either A, I didn't vote for him, or nobody likes him. But I was at his rally. Of course, I was covering that in Georgia a month ago. And no, it wasn't 400,000 people. It was in a high school gym. You know, so many people. So people outside and inside, it was split. The people outside were saying, "Oh my God, get him out of here, get him away from us." But I was in that gym. That's dedicated to the people who vote for him. But to think that people no longer like him, those polls that he has, that's not real life. I was there. White people like him. There's a very small handful of Blacks and a few Indians, Asian Americans, Indians. But for the most part, he's very popular amongst the base of people who voted for him the first time. If he ran, he'd win Georgia. Like won twice out of 3 times. He's not unpopular. He's less popular, but that's still enough to win an election. So he's not running again, so he won't be around. But if anyone's spewing that Trump stuff, that might help them win an election. But I don't think it's going to help in the case of senator, and governor. But I'm just saying, let's stop pretending that everyone hates the guy. You don't get 70+ million votes in an election if everybody hates you. I think it's popular to say you do. I don't believe that's the case. I think we still need to vote en masse for everything. Again, even though he's not running, pretend he is. Because his party politics have saved the GOP. It was dying. People got off that train and they jumped back on with him. So we all need to vote en masse like he's running again. If you don't like him, prove it. Vote against all of those kind of policies in November. Because if you don't, it's just like he's around anyway. Because he's still going to be president for the next 2 years anyway. 2.5. So.
No doubt. Well, I appreciate the update.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Donnell Suggs of the Atlanta Voice. Please let the listening audience know how we can support.
Please follow us on theatlantavoice.com. It's free site, no paywalls. On Instagram, The Atlanta Voice. Go right ahead and follow and just keep track with us. We're all over the place.
All right. I appreciate it. When we come back, Mark, Tommy, Wayne, I'll take your calls and more.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Early detection saves lives. Ladies, if you're due for a mammogram, don't wait. Breast cancer is most treatable when it's found early. UChicago Medicine makes it easier to take charge of your health. Eligible patients can self-schedule their mammogram online or through MyChart in just minutes. Visit uchicagomedicine.org/mammo to schedule your screening. That's uchicagomedicine.org/mammo. UChicago Medicine at the forefront.
See something suspicious? Say something. Do not hesitate to call 911. Enjoy the Air and Water Show, and please help the show and the city of Chicago keep it safe.
This summer, experience live music under the stars at Ravinia, everybody. Gladys Knight, Brian McKnight are going to headline, and they'll be joined by Chance the Rapper and a special opening night gala performance featuring Lizzo with the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. See great performances all season long, from legendary voices to hometown favorites. Ravinia brings unforgettable sounds to the summer stage. Get your tickets now at ravinia.org.
Get your outfits, grab your crew, and get on board with the Me Plus 3 special starting at $1,000 per person. This time, join the Foundation Fantastic Voyage 2025 cruise will be fun, entertaining, and this will be a once-in-a-lifetime event with seminars, fitness workouts, parades, concerts, and much more starting at $1,000. Call 214-495-1963 to book your Me Plus 3 cabin. Prices are based on 4 passengers in the cabin, so book today while they last and before cabins are sold out.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
Have you checked out WVON's digital streaming network, Bond TV? It's everywhere on Roku, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Fire, on the WVON app, and at VON.TV. Bond TV, it's cultural content on purpose.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
Right now, because of this heavy rain, not much traffic on the roadways, luckily. So we're going to turn to weather right away. Currently, we are looking at a tornado warning according to the National Weather Service. So for the next 10 minutes or so, that warning will remain in effect for southern DuPage, southeast Kane, northeast Kendall counties, along with parts of the Chicago area until 11 a.m. We're also under a severe thunderstorm warning in our area and outlining areas as well, along with a flood advisory. Taking a look at our temperatures right now, we are in the mid 70s. They're rolling back. We're down to 75 at Midway. It's 76 at the Obama Presidential Center and raining heavily and 76 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 10:52. It's a turbulent Tuesday on the Cleopatra Show. And apparently it's turbulent outside here in Chicago as we pull back up from hot Atlanta. I want to thank Donnell Suggs from the Atlanta Voice for giving us some updates on the senatorial race of Jon Ossoff and, of course, gubernatorial Democratic candidate Mansour. That's right, Keisha Lance Bottoms, who's set to be the first Black governor in the country history. That is something. So don't count Keisha out. If you know a Keisha in your life, you better get that sister some dap and make sure you go run over to Act Blue and get that sister some bread. And I'm talking about Keisha Lance Bottoms. And that is my PSA for today. You got to support, right? That historical run that she's making, you have to try. You miss every shot that you didn't try. You have to. I'm going to the phone lines. Let's talk to Tommy. Tommy, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
First of all, good morning, Miss Cleo, and especially to your listening audience. I think about right now, individuals are to be crystal clear on exactly what is going on, not only in the city, but nationally with this administration. All of these things are distractions. This man has no intention of leaving office. And if a message is not sent at the midterms because the rats are jumping the ship, and anytime an individual does not recognize the prowess of the United States of America. It is the greatest killing machine on the face of the earth. So therefore, for Iran to be steady talking about they closed the Hormuz and you got a criminal organization dealing with a criminal organization, you know, if it sounds like I'm just going around and saying things, that's the point I'm trying to make for these unemployed Negroes in the city of Chicago. Now, there's a black man sitting up there in the mayor's office. Now, I will agree with any and everybody who says that the money should never went to the migrants or whatever the hell you think your migrant problem is. But what this city of Chicago's problem is thinking by people who won't recognize and understand a simple thing. Can we work this out? Not with these uninformed, ignorant Negroes. That's why these times are so dangerous. That's why we don't understand and recognize a simple narrative. Either we come together because of the ancestors who have died and left this prowess for us to recognize or understand, or we all perish as fools. Now run and tell that. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Tommy. Let's talk to Wayne. Wayne, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Yes, hello.
Yes, sir. Welcome to WVON.
Yes, good morning to you. My name is Wayne Watson. I've been in education for over 50 years. It's my understanding earlier you were talking about the Chicago Board of Education. And I just want to make sure that we acknowledge and that we are fully aware that Attorney Victor Henderson.
Hold on, wait. Hold on. Put him on hold. What we will not do is use this platform to promote any candidate. I cannot do that. I won't do that. Because what that means is now I got to allow Jessica Biggs and everybody else. So we cannot do that. Now, if you want to weigh in on the school board and your expectations, that's one thing. So that goes for you, Mark. I see your comment is about school board president. So if that means I don't take your call, and then if you all want to go on another show, that's fine too. I'm not offended either way, but I won't be doing that. Okay. So I want to make sure we're clear. Now, my comment about actually the school board was rooted in the premise that school starts in less than 2 weeks. And I really haven't heard much energy around it. Me personally, and I'm a mom for the future kindergarten. I have not heard anything. So, and it reminded me of what's on the horizon is the school board race. So I just want us to be very clear. I will not be taking calls that will endorse any or a pro or none of that unless they're sitting in this seat in this studio, and then we could collectively talk to that person. So I want to be crystal clear on that. Okay. So I want to jump into the chat. And I definitely see Charlene. She said, hey, Queen Cleopatra. And good morning, WVON family. So there's always a show within the show. Preston on one. You know, he said it's getting dark in River Forest, so it must be bad outside. I see what you all are saying. And then last but not least, if you all have thoughts about Georgia, it is unique that these two men, both Dr. Reverend Raphael Warnock and Senator John Ossoff, are Democrats controlling Georgia. That is out of control, wild. But this is where we're at in this moment. And I keep repeating the statistical fact that 1 in every 5 reliable Republican will either sit out and not vote at all and or pull the ticket and punch Democrat. That's something. And it is undeniable. Meanwhile, you have a lot of pressure in the Republican Party for a particular congressman who likes to beat his wife, allegedly, to drop out. And he had until yesterday, and the White House interjected and said, no, he's going to stay in. So that lets you know the desperation of where we're at in this Republican Party and how far they're willing to go. But I mean, 17 million people are without health care. Another 14 million are without supplemental nutritional assistance program. And not to mention those that are unhoused or on the verge of being unhoused with this big, atrocious bill. So when we come back, we're going to continue to take it up a notch You don't want to miss this, as it is a turbulent Tuesday. Buckle up, Buttercup. I hear it's treacherous outside. You don't want to miss this.
Some storms are sweeping across our area on this Tuesday, August 11th, 2026. I'm Annette Flanoyan in the headlines. Weather tops our news. Tornado warnings for outlying areas and Southwest Indiana are about to expire. However, right now it's pretty dark. The National Weather Service says to look out for fast-moving, powerful storms, packing high winds and the potential for flooding across our area. Well, a new batch of tickets to the Obama Presidential Center are going on sale at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office has ID'd 11 of 56 partially decomposed bodies found at a South Chicago funeral home. National news from the Black Information Network is next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station. 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 11 o'clock.
BIN News Now. President Trump says Republicans could face turnout challenges in next year's midterm elections because he won't be on the ballot.
The question is, will they vote? Because a lot of them are very angry at Republicans, to be honest with you.
Despite those concerns, Trump tells Punchbowl News he's stepping up campaign efforts and remains confident Republicans will maintain control of both the House and Senate. President Trump has signed new executive orders aimed at limiting birthright citizenship and curbing so-called birth tourism. The actions are expected to face immediate legal challenges, with critics arguing they conflict with longstanding interpretations of the 14th Amendment. And R&B fans may have a major versus battle on the way. Donnell Jones says he and fellow singer Joe are set to face off in a song-for-song showdown on August 20th, though an official announcement has not yet been made. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Terry McCready.
New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani is doubling down on calls for President Trump to extend temporary protected status for Haitian and Syrian immigrants after a Supreme Court ruling ended the program. Mamdani blaming the federal government as the city is moving to terminate employees who were previous TPS holders.
We are only taking the actions that we are forced to take when it comes to what we want to see in this city and in this country. It is the extension of TPS. It is ensuring that these New Yorkers are recognized for what they are, which is New Yorkers, and that they are here, they are at home.
The mayor said the city was providing free legal consultations to those looking at other forms of work authorization. Meanwhile, the DHS would not say if ICE raids were going to target Haitian immigrants, but said it is not too late for anyone concerned to self-deport. The identity of a Madison, Wisconsin police officer who fatally shot a 38-year-old black man last month has been disclosed. The killing of Corey Ruiz has sparked protests in the state's capital over the way people of color are treated by authorities. Keel Badinger-Peterson has over a decade of law enforcement experience, and he's the officer who fired the deadly shots, according to the Wisconsin Department of Justice's Division of Criminal Investigation. Police say he was among three other officers surrounding Ruiz, who was on a bike at the time in response to reports of someone checking out parked cars and an alleged attempted burglary. Badinger-Peterson and the other officers are all on paid administrative leave while the state investigation continues. President Trump says Iran should pay damages for the harm the regime has inflicted on the world for the past 50 years. Trump was asked about Iran's latest demands yesterday as negotiations play out with the U.S.
They asked for money for the damage that we've done. And I said, that's a good idea. Well, we're going to ask for money for the damage they've done over a 50-year period. Whether you go SS Cole or whether you go all of the people that were so badly hurt, so badly wounded or killed.
Over the weekend, Iran had a number of demands for the U.S., including that the U.S. must completely compensate Iran for damages from the 5-month-long war. Trump also told White House reporters that the U.S. controls the Strait of Hormuz. Voters in a handful of states are heading to the polls for primary day. 11 Minnesota lawmakers are facing challengers inside their own parties. The Hennepin County Attorney contest and multiple legislative races are on tap. Low voter turnout could be a major factor in the outcome outcomes in Wisconsin, Democratic Socialist Francesca Hong is seeking to score a four-way Democratic primary for governor where her top opponent, David Crowley, has been endorsed by the governor. Other primary elections underway today are in Connecticut and Vermont. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow VIM News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
Shop small with Wintrust Bank and celebrate the heart of our community, our local businesses. Listen as we share a list of small businesses throughout our community that we can shop, dine, and support throughout the year. These businesses are the economic engine that drives our neighborhoods. Wintrust knows that. That's why they're Chicago's bank and why they're encouraging you to shop local. Keep listening for the Wintrust Community Business Spotlight campaign. With Wintrust, shopping small is a big deal.
On the new episode of Mama, I Made It, Chicago made her. Hollywood embraced her. The Southside's own Lisa Ray McCoy sits down with Samantha Chapman for intimate conversation on Mama, I Made It. From her breakout role in the Players Club to becoming a television icon and entrepreneur, Lisa Ray opens up about her career, her Chicago roots, and the journey behind her success. Don't miss this exclusive interview, streaming now on Vaughn TV. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, the WVON app, or at VON.TV. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture.
You never know who's going to stop by WVON.
He was the man in the middle, the one and only Bill Cartwright.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Out of Stanford, playing for the Los Angeles Sparks. She's none other than Cameron Brink.
Thank you for having me.
So happy and honored to have with us Mr. Mark Aguirre, two-time NBA champion. How are you?
I am doing well, thank you. Not bad at all. We are the talk of Chicago. 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Audible. When you start listening to books on Audible, traffic might seem like less of an annoyance and more of an opportunity for another chapter. Audible, stories that speak to you. New members can start listening with a 30-day free trial at audible.com.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's the Cleopatra Show on Chicago's essential storyteller, 1690 WVON.
I don't want nobody else to ever love me. You are my shining star, my guiding light, my love that's a sea. There's not a minute, hour, day, or night that I don't love you. You're at the top of my list, cause I'm always thinking of you. I still remember in the days when I was scared to touch you. How I spent my day dreaming, planning how to stay. I love you. You must have known that I feelings deep enough to swim in. That's when you opened up your heart and you told me to come.
And we are back. The time is 11:08. It's a turbulent Tuesday on the Cleopatra Show. And here we are. It's turbulent outside. I heard it's windy. Folks at furniture moving around, be safe, please, Chicago. In the Chicagoland area, as there's a potentiality tornado may touch down in some capacity. I don't know what that would look like. I'm a city girl, but you know, I in this ever-growing climate that we are impacting across the country, you never know what you're walking into. So please be safe. 773-591-1690. As I promised you, as we go back to the original conversation about two states. Wisconsin, our neighboring state. Here it is across every channel. Can a socialist win the Democratic ticket to march on to the general in Wisconsin? Now, Wisconsin is a Republican state. We know that. But folk getting real desperate once they signed up for the racism and didn't know that they were getting the poverty and the sickness too. It's real. When up and down the ticket across the country is affordability. Meanwhile, back on a ranch at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, your president says it's a hoax. The man that was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. The man whose family has grifted more than a couple billion since he's been in the White House, and the second becoming. And we're not even done with his term. What would they ever know about struggle, let alone struggle? What of it? All he did was struggle to not go to jail, and instead he won presidency. That's something. So 773-591-1690. Now here's the kicker. Honk has only spent $447,000 in a race adjacent to $13 million. So if this DSA candidate pulls it off with less than $500,000 spent, that speaks volumes in a statewide race. I'm gonna put on my operative hat. Statewide, $500,000 is virtually unheard of. That's historical within itself. Even if she were to lose, even though the data polling suggests that she's up 20 points. $500,000 spent. And we've shown out and shown less too in Chicago. Raja Krishnamurthy dwarfed everybody in that senatorial run that now holds the golden ticket with our current lieutenant governor, who is on her way to the general to become our senator here in Illinois. He dwarfed. Money don't talk. Not always. Let's hear what Mark has to say. Mark, welcome to WVON.
Yes, good afternoon. Oh, good morning, Cleopatra. How are you?
I'm in good spirits.
I'm trying to weather this storm. It's really, this is like what my grandmother used to say, get off the phone and turn the TV off, because it's crazy out here.
And we can't see it in the studios. I'm going to trust your word.
Well, I'm sitting in a high-rise condo here on the lake, and it ain't no joke. But my question is, I went to the Bud Billiken, and I found something interesting. And if I may, that no one was talking about this school board race presidency. And I'm just saying to myself, our young people are our most precious commodity. Nobody's talking about this. And I'm saying, as a loyal listener to the station, can VON do some kind of summit or some kind of debate on this? Because it's really, all you keep hearing is we need more money from Springfield. But what have you guys done with the money that you've already received? And this is me talking as a taxpayer. It just befuddles my brain of, what's going on. And I think it's a worthy conversation and it's a worthy topic. And I just wanted to throw that out there to VON to see if there's something that can, would be on their plate to do, to bring all the candidates together. And let's see where everybody's at, because these young people and the teachers are our most important commodity.
We agree with you, and we are listening to you. In fact, when it was first tossed out, it was by Madam President Stacey Davis Gates of the Chicago Teachers Union and Vice President of now President of the IFT. So that was noted then. It is noted now, and I agree with you. You heard the mayor just yesterday on my show. He said the elders used to ask, "Are the children well?" And if the answer were the children are well, then the state of being is well. But if the children aren't well, then we're not well. And I agree. The entire deficit is very alarming. Historically, what has been done with the funds that were distributed, and one thing that is matter of factly is it hasn't been distributed with equity. Children on the south and west side locally are at a disadvantage equitably, so that is problematic. But that is just one stance of many.
Well, I'll say this in closing in 2 points. This is something I've heard over the years. But it said, if you don't make progress, by standing on the sideline, whimpering, complaining. You make progress by implementing ideas, taking a stand. If you don't have a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. You got to make some noise to be heard and to get your point across. And, this is like what's going on in Atlanta. And I'm really for your Sora, the Delta Bottoms down there in Atlanta, really rooting for her, because that's one of the states that definitely needs to have some change going on, let alone here in Illinois too. But I appreciate you, Cleopatra. I listened to your show. Awesome as usual, but run that up the flagpole to see what the powers that be over at the station are talking about in regards to having some kind of, formal debate with all the candidates.
Well, stay tuned for that. I appreciate your comment, and I'm sure we are taking heed. Let's talk to Brother Randy. Brother Randy, welcome to WVON.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
I'm in good spirits. How are you?
Good. I'm doing very well. Hopefully your family, the rest of your family are well. I just want to say that I hope that the Democrats socialists do win, because the thing about it, they have a strategic vision. See, the problem I have with both parties, the two major parties, the Democratic and Republican parties, that they lack a vision that is inclusive, to include working class people. I'm not going to say for all of them, but it's just the status quo Democrats I have a real issue with. These Chuck Schumers and people like that, and the Bill Clintons and Hillary Clintons. The people I think are very progressive, like the Al Greens and Jasmine Crockett and others, I think, as well as those still brothers who are in Tennessee and stuff, who are doing a tremendous job. I think they represent that particular element that goes back even to when you have people like Washington, as well as Congressman John Carnes, who was in office and everything like that, very progressive and raised issues that are relevant and germane to Black folks and working class people. So, but I think that the Republican Party sees their handwriting on the wall, right? And this is the reason why I think that many of them basically they're running for cover like someone sprayed raid. But I think that I think it's important that also and I appreciate the discussion with the mayor. You really did a fine job and raised certain questions, because you kind of caught him off guard yesterday. Okay.
My husband, I got a Brandon too. My husband said the same thing. He said he didn't see that come, but he said the mayor said it too.
I like that in you. Because think about it, you raised some really critical questions that see, my thing is this. I support the mayor 100%. I'm biased, of course. I think he's a decent person, has integrity, and I think that we need to work with people like that. And I think that he should just put together just information concerning what his accomplishments are, as well as those who are running also for CL. They need to put out position papers, and they need to let people know exactly what they're going to do for them, and then follow through. They need to be people of their word. And as men and women, that's all you have in this world is your word. So keep up the excellent work. I appreciate you.
I appreciate it as well. Look, folks are doing some well-being checks. So class, check in if you are well. I'm hearing in the 24th ward over there in Lawndale that it is dark and cloudy. In addition to that, Renee says, in the 24th ward, the only candidate for president that has had anyone reach out to her is the one supported by the CTU. I guess the other candidates just take for granted our vote don't matter because we always have such a low voter turnout. Shame on us. You're not alone. Across the city, it is what it is. But the 10th ward is very dismal too. 9th ward, I can go across the map. But pay attention, and we're going to get into that. We're going to get in the weeds of the school board race. And trust me, my analysis, I am coming strong and sharp. But I would like to just see, what they're working with. Over the summer, the thought process is who's paying attention. But because I know I have the most astute listening audience in the world, and if you're in this class, you're going to come out stronger than you walked in. So even though they say we're not paying attention in the summer, we read and we watch. So as I'm watching and reading, once we get school back into session over the Labor Day holiday, it is on and popping like popcorn. And I can't wait to really see what it's worth. And ultimately, the excitement around a 21-member board that is virtually elected by the people for the people. That is the first in Chicago's history. And we ought not take it for granted. More when we return.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This is Kamini Khan, certified financial planner professional. For the past year, I've been on a mission to change lives and build wealth in our community. Together, we're changing the paradigm. This year, I'm back with a new series, Wealth Strategies Money Talk. Join me every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on the Rufus Williams Show as we have thoughtful discussions around building wealth in our community. We'll discuss topics like investing, savings, tax strategies, retirement, and all things money. Yes, that's Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. So set those alarms. Also, be sure to check out the podcast at WVONWealthShow.com.
Komini Khan is a certified financial planner professional with Optimal Planning Partners in alliance with Equitable Advisors LLC member SIPC in Oak Brook, Illinois. For more information, please call 630-575-5046. This August, renew your spirit only on Vaughn TV. Watch Behind Our Walls, a powerful documentary following incarcerated men pursuing a college education through the Calvin Prison Initiative. It's an inspiring story of determination, redemption, and the transformative power of second chances.
There's a lot of bad things that happen in prison. It's a dark place. You have all the time in the world. So you can either become a better human being or you become a worse human being. And the choice is yours.
Then spend time with Serenity, Strength, and Style with Sylvia Ewing and friends. Uplifting conversations about wellness, self-care, resilience, and living with intention. August on Vaughn TV offers stories that stay with you long after they're over. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, the WVON app, or at Vaughn.tv. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture.
Looking for a fun, free event the whole family can enjoy? Join Insight Hospital and Medical Center Chicago as we celebrate 5 years of serving our community with a community block party and health fair on Saturday, August 15th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 2525 South Michigan Avenue, formerly Mercy Hospital. Enjoy free food trucks and ice cream, music and entertainment, games and activities for all ages, free health screenings, wellness resources, and the chance to meet our expert providers. Bring your family, bring your friends, and celebrate with us. Admission is free. We can't wait to see you. Learn more at InsightChicago.com. That's InsightChicago.com.
Get your outfits, grab your crew, and get on board with the Me+3 special starting at $1,000 per person. This time, join the Foundation Fantastic Voyage 2025 cruise will be fun, entertaining, and this will be a once-in-a-lifetime event with seminars, fitness workouts, parades, concerts, and much more starting at $1,000. Call 214-495-1963 to book your Me+3 cabin. Prices are based on 4 passengers in the cabin, so book today while they last and before cabins are sold out.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Nothing major happening as far as your travel times go, but we are seeing a couple incidents because of this very strong, powerful storm sweeping our area. Right now, along Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, you want to look out for an accident northbound at Salk Trail. Along the Eisenhower, there is a crash inbound at York Road. And right now, as you make your way, we'll update this soon. As you make your way in and around the west side near the Austin neighborhood, Madison Street is shut down in both directions. right there at Central Avenue. Apparently, there's some police activity there. CTA is rerouting the number 20 buses. You want to check your apps. But checking our weather, severe storms are sweeping across the Chicagoland area right now. The National Weather Service says there are a couple tornado warnings in outlying areas such as Cook, Kankakee, Will, and Lake counties. They're also seeing wind gusts as high as 10 miles per hour. Right now is pitch dark outside. Checking our temperatures, still holding steady though in the mid 70s. We are actually dropping now because of the rain that's coming in our area. We're down to 73 at Midway. It's now 73 at the Obama Presidential Center, and rainy and thunderstorms and 73 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Illinois on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. It's a turbulent Tuesday on the Cleopatra Show. And I'm laughing because I was watching this clip that I may play for us tomorrow. It is always a privilege when I get to hear her voice. But I was just looking at the announcement of Willie Wilson for mayor, which I found ironic because the class is talking about him in the chat. And it came from Willie Wilson is taking votes for Mayor Johnson. Willie Wilson is a spoiler. Willie Wilson sit down this mayoral race. Now he is in a sea of almost 7 folk. And I'm just interested, for what it's worth. I'll entertain some calls. But, as we look towards the future of Chicago, I'm a Redfin girl. I keep telling you all, if I really want to know the temperature of the growth, I just look to Redfin. Yes, I do follow the administrations, not just Johnson. I look at Pritzker, I look at the desk of Preckwinkle, and I do take across the country. I read the New York Times, read the LA Times. I am down in the South. I'm curious in terms of the national uptake because this is a national show, but all politics is local. How I know that whatever Johnson's administration is really taking control of is growing is outcomes. I just saw this beautiful home in North Lawndale. Beautiful. Like I said, I'm a proud graduate of Jensen Scholastic Academy, 3030 West Harrison Street, shout out. So every so often I might look, I'm just curious, how's out West Illinois doing? Not just out West Illinois. There are homes popping up deliberately where we've been depopulated. The man said this when he was on the show yesterday. Beautiful homes. And in association with that, he's willing to give us up to $70,000 in terms of the closing cost. 70. Not to mention what they got going on the county. You couple that, you're looking at 100 bands. But I'm going to piecemeal that together. I promise you I'm going to do some shows about it. But the point that I'm making is I'm looking at a crowd of folks saying what they could do. I'm just saying what he is doing. And then unless he don't want to do it no more, what are we doing? And yes, there's room for growth. But I saw this clip that I may play this week as well that spoke to the 2 Brandons across the country and what they've done well. It is not a utopia. Nowhere in this world is there a utopia. There are some places where crime is virtually non-existent, but that's nowhere near where we live. It's never have been. But what's your thoughts on all of the folks that are popping out and their resume? Because many of them have resume. Many of them have ran before, if not for this seat, other seats. So they're no strangers for the most part, and or prominence, right? Come from some background or some practice of some sort, right? What's your thoughts? Especially as you all are organically having this conversation, and maybe the algorithm is not just talking to me in my phone. I'm just sitting in the studio and I just started to laugh a little bit because this is 4th time, Is 4 the charm? I thought it was 3, but 4 can be, right? What is the deal? Where are we at? You know, and I am talking exclusively that Chicago talk. Um, Brother Wall says Willie don't need to be married to give us gas and chickens. You know, what does he need to do? Here, you know, I'm curious. My thoughts of what he could have done and your take on what he is doing or should do, you know, and then those that gonna run back and say, well, Cleopatra talking about you. Yeah, I'm just curious. You know, it's your fourth run. But he ain't alone. You know, many people have ran for a lot of things a lot of times until they win. You know, what would a Chicago look like under Willie's rule? What would that look like? You know, what would it look like under Janolia's rule or Mendoza? I can't think of all of them. You know, I would have to look at the list. But it just made me think as I was listening. Now, James says your bias shows. Your bias shows. Are you saying my show is biased or the shows itself across the spectrum are biased? You know, edit that and I'll repeat it so then I can respond. But ultimately, when we come back, guys, the cost of groceries and fuel is surging. We are on the 165th day of Trump's war, and there's no getting out of it no time soon. Meanwhile, we've ran out of ammunition. That's a problem, especially long range missiles. But the strains on household budgets aren't going anywhere. When we come back, the Better Business Bureau is going to hang out with me because I want to warn you all of some scams. You know, folks are always trying to take advantage of an opportunity, and the cruelty of it all in the midst of surging prices and inflation is wrong. And I want to make sure that we're warned, especially those that are in our vulnerable states. And I'm just not talking to the elderly. I'm talking about folks that don't read and sign up for things that literally are a warning the moment you open the package. So you might want to be aware. When we come back, Brother Wall's still going in. Brother Wall said Willie Wilson is 78 years young. I didn't know he was that old. I had no idea, but that's something to think about too when you think about the city and the vibrancy of that, the longevity of that role to be the mayor of the city of Chicago. Is there an age that is a good range? Is 78 too old? Let me know. We'll be back.
We're under a severe thunderstorm watch in our area. Good morning. I'm Annette Flournoy, and here's what's happening. Well, Weather Talks our news. It's pretty dark right now. A tornado warning for Cook, Kankakee, Will, Lake, and Indiana Porter counties are in effect, but are expected to expire soon. The National Weather Service says right now we're looking at current wind gusts of up to 100 miles per hour in those areas. Folks in those areas are being told to take cover. Right now here in Chicago, we're getting hammered with a powerful, severe thunderstorm that's packing high winds and the potential for flooding across our area. The White Sox are scheduled for tonight. Gladys Knight and Brian McKnight are at Ravinia, and J. Cole scheduled at the United Center. Hopefully this severe weather will clear out by then. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office has ID'd 11 of 56 partially decomposed bodies found at a South Chicago funeral home. Governor Pritzker is calling the owners of the South Chicago Chapel on East 95th Street bad actors.
Look, this shouldn't happen. And what does happen now is enforcement, right?
The medical examiner's office says the process to identify the remains could take quite a few days. No criminal charges have yet been filed against the couple operating the funeral home. That's Clark and Johanna Morgan. The investigation continues. Well, the Powerball jackpot is inching closer to $1 billion. No one matched all the numbers in last night's drawing. The jackpot now sits at $975 million with a cash value of more than $422 million. The next Powerball drawing is tomorrow night. And the sights and sounds of the Chicago Air and Water Show starts this week as practice flyovers begin happening. Not today, though. The 2026 Chicago Air and Water Show kicks off this weekend, August 15th and 16th. About 1 million people are expected to pack the lakefront with lawn chairs, blankets, and they'll be watching through windows of the high-rises. The best view is at North Avenue Beach and along the lakefront from Fullerton to Oak Street. The city advises folks to get there as early as possible and stake out a spot, and to use public transportation, as there will be no public parking at those beaches this weekend because of the Air and Water Show. Now, Millennium Garages offers reservations for special event parking. That's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 11:34.
WVON is more than a radio station. We're your connection to Black America. That means we're everywhere. On Facebook at WVON, on Instagram at WVON, and on the WVON app. WVON is everywhere.
This just in, the South Shore Summerfest did it again. Catch the sultry sounds of Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter John B. as he plays all your favorite hits. From They Don't Know to Waiting on You, and shop with your favorite local businesses at Chicago's hottest lakefront Summerfest. Sunday, August 16th at the South Shore Cultural Center from 12 p.m. until 8 p.m. Free registration is available online at SouthShoreSummerFestival.com. Sponsored by Special Services Area Number 42, the South Shore Chamber of Commerce, Chase Bank, Way Dispensary, and Bally's Casino.
Where have you been?
My laundry got backed up. I had so much laundry I felt like the help, but I found the truth.
You became a Jehovah's Witness?
I found Clean Break. For less than the price of a good meal, Clean Break washed and folded my clothes and had them smelling fresh the way I like.
It's gotta be inexpensive. You know all the hookups.
Darn Skippy. I wasn't about to pay no $100 for 2 bags of clothes, and I caught the WVON discount.
Girl, sign me up. I'm sold.
Try Clean Break today for just $25 per bag, including pickup and delivery. Call 708-980-7886 or visit cleanbreak.com. That's KLEANBREAK.com. Clean Break, fresh clothes, more free time. Get your weekends back.
So fresh and so clean, Break.
When you play the Illinois Lottery, you're generating funds that support education. No matter the prize, Illinois wins. Play all your favorite Illinois Lottery games today to help raise more for education. Be smart, play smart. Must be 18 years or older to play. Game odds available at IllinoisLottery.com.
This report is brought to you by USPS Ground Advantage. We mean business. Business moves fast. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Quite a few incidents across the board as we watch this weather rip through our area. We are looking on the Ryan right now, outbound at 87th Street. There's a disabled vehicle blocking the right lane. If you're on the Eisenhower inbound right around York Road, you want to look out for an accident there. Taking a look at our weather, we're seeing some severe weather sweep across the Chicago area. Thunderstorm, rain, high winds. The National Weather Service is on alert for a possible tornado in outlying areas today. We're looking at wind gusts at times of up to 100 miles per hour. Right now, temperatures are in the low 70s, still 73 at Midway. We're seeing thunderstorms rip across the Obama Presidential Center and 70 degrees there and 73 here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Fernoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes. Something without warning, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
And we are back. The time is 11:39, and it's a turbulent Tuesday. But let me tell you about this song. This song is my sunshine song. My elders, I played this every day. So you can't do nothing but smile, even though it's a cloudy day. One thing that is guaranteed, the sun will come back out. And can't nobody steal my sunshine. When I hear this song on a cloudy day, I will even still smile and thank God and be joyful and bask in it. Now, getting back to the business at hand. Before we bring up our special guest, folk want to weigh in on this mayoral race. I did open up the phone lines to let you do so. 773-591-1690. Folks were organically talking that talk. And I was just looking at the announcement for the fourth run for Dr. Willie Wilson. And Brother Wall was acknowledging that he was 78. I didn't know he was that old. But what is too old? What is the appropriate age for leadership? And I actually got a clip that I saved that I was going to play on Friday, but I may have to run it back because it speaks to where we're at as a country in terms of age, right? So here it is, 78-year-old, four-time hopeful, wants to be mayor of the city of Chicago. What do you all say? Especially in a sea of 6 other folks that have already announced and are making the runs and asking you to sign their petition. What say you? Let's talk to Andre. Andre, welcome to WVON.
Hey, good morning to you, Miss Cleopatra. Now, hopefully that you weathering the storm over there. But
oh, no, sugar melting rain. I would not be here on this mic. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, that's for sure. I like that. So look, Miss Cleopatra, it's like black people. We get caught up into these shenanigans a lot of times. Now, these Republicans talked about Joe Biden like a dog, but yet you got this clown down there by the name of Chuck Grassley that's 92 years old sitting down there in Congress. Republicans don't say nothing. Republicans got them criminals down there running for office. They don't say nothing. They always want Democrats to kowtow to everything. Meanwhile, they stand their ground. They stay the same way. Now, about this mayoral race and Willie Wilson, and this is my concern. Chicago has a budget problem, right? Well, at one time, there was some talk about cutting the aldermen in half. Instead of having 50 aldermen, having 25 aldermen. And it's been said that 25 aldermen would drastically cut the budget in Chicago. So I just want to know from you, do you think that's a workable solution to kind of cut that budget in Chicago? And whoever runs for mayor, do you think that they may lean toward trying to cut the size of the city council to 25 from 50?
That is a interesting debate. I think it works well in New York, but New York also has a cap on campaign with refinance reform. Like they have a completely different approach that enables them to truly govern and taking the big money out of politics. We don't have that. So I don't know if cutting it down will only exasperate the services that we already not getting in certain areas. I don't know if that would be good.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted your opinion. I haven't formed no opinion on it either way just yet myself.
But we can dive into that. In fact, I'll tap somebody from New York to even talk about their political landscape, which is so unique when we look nationally, whether it's to the West and Cali or to, like I said, in New York, that nobody does politics like Illinois. It's so unique.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Miss Cleopatra, I'll let you get to your guest and I'll talk
Absolutely.
to you next time.
So getting back to the business, the Better Business Bureau, better known as BBB, Triple B, has recently received multiple reports through its BBB Scam Tracker page from individuals who got postcards claiming they qualify for valuable gas and grocery card vouchers. But there's a warning. Who's on the live line to discuss it with us is Steve Bernass, President and CEO of the Better Business Bureau. Steve, welcome to the Cleopatra Show.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me today. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, I appreciate you and your time, and thank you for allowing me to take that last call. Let's get down to the business, because let me tell you something. I hurl, I'm going to call the Better Business Bureau all day, every day when I'm going to stores and all type of stuff. So I can't wait to build this relationship with you. I hope to keep y'all working and busy, because the violations that I believe I see, I can't wait for you to talk to us about this tracker and everything about the Better Business Bureau. So have at it. Let's go.
Yeah, so the Better Business Bureau, we just celebrated our 100th anniversary in Chicago. We started in 1926. So we're here to help consumers, to empower them and educate them to making wise buying decisions. Unfortunately, there's bad actors out there. There's great businesses in your neighborhoods everywhere in Chicago, but there's always the bad actors, especially now after the pandemic. We've seen it. The scams just continue to proliferate, not only in our marketplace, but all across North America. And it's getting out of hand. It's getting to a point where you can't trust anything, it feels like. And that's what we're there for, to instill trust that there's great businesses out there. We want consumers to come to us. If you see a scam, let us know, even if you've not been scammed, because then we can forewarn others as well and let the authorities know and put these people in jail where they belong.
So talk to us about this valuable gas and grocery card voucher.
Well, a lot of times, obviously the cost of groceries and fuel really has continued to strain our household budgets. It's no surprise that consumers are eager to, take advantage of savings when they can. Unfortunately, the scammers know this then, and they're interested in using U.S. mail to lure people with the promise of free gas or grocery gift cards. But the only thing, what we call the tip-off to the rip-off, is they ask you for a small processing fee to get the money, which can obviously lead to unauthorized charges on your account, or what's most worse is identity theft in some way. So we've seen these postcards in the East and the South part of the country. Now they're starting to come into the Chicago area, so we issued our warning today.
No, I appreciate that. So in this tracker, explain to us how this works.
So basically, Scam Tracker is almost tantamount to Santa Tracker. So we keep tracks of all the scams happening in North America, and it basically, all this information that consumers feed us, we put into this database. So if you give us a scam, you tell us the website, the phone number, who you talk to. We put this in a database. So somebody else calling in the next time will see these particular scams, what's happening specifically in your area, this part of the country, the city, whatever it may be. But again, the only way to put scams out of business is not to give me your business. And I've been doing this for almost 39 years at the BVB, and it's continued to see people lose their life savings or money they don't need to lose. And my biggest frustration in my career has been from consumers who do all the homework and research after they've been scammed, only to find out they've been scammed. We knew that already. If you just take the time necessary to check with the Better Business Bureau, check with other sources before you give, you would be a better shot at that time and not losing your money at all. And that's what's most important today, is these scammers are getting sophisticated. You can't tell the difference. Your phone may ring and say IRS. It's not the IRS. You may get an email from Netflix. It's not Netflix. It's somebody being an imposter trying to steal your money, luring you into something that's happening quickly. Like, we were getting reports this week from consumers who say they got an email or a text saying that, congratulations on buying your TV. Thank you so much. You'll enjoy this $1,000 TV. Oh, you didn't order it? Click here. See, that's the tip-off to the rip-off, is they want to create the sense of urgency that something happened. You got to act quickly. And what we call the 30-minute rule at the BVB. Most scams happen when they want you to do something quickly. The only thing you should do in 30 minutes is buy a pizza. Everything else, research. Don't answer your phone unless it's your contact list, and don't click on any link, even the QR codes. We issued a QR warning last week. Scammers are now using QR codes because we're telling people to stay away from unknown links and anything that's out of the ordinary. But QR codes, you don't see the link. You can't physically see a link. It's just a QR code. You put your camera up to it. It gets you to the website. But that website could have spam, malware in it. Lock your phone, lock your computer. If you don't think it happened to you, it happens to government. The Southside Police Station, South Suburbs rather, many years ago, they had to pay the ransomware to get their police files back. So it happens to corporations. It happens to individuals. People lose their photos. So many things can happen.
No, I appreciate that. So listen, when we come back, because I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, I appreciate you keeping us abreast about some of the scams. But what I'm also curious is, like I said, I personally, I threaten more than a little bit about who I'm going to call. And it's not Ghostbusters. I threaten to say I'm going to call the Better Business Bureau about a lot of things. It can be practices to old food, to this, to that. I don't know if I have it right. I'm going to blatantly ask you, what should we be reporting when we see things that aren't right, and to whom? Because sometimes it could be the wrong department. I don't know. I just want folks to get their act right. I feel like there'd be surcharges with the usage of debit cards. I feel like they're in certain communities. They're just abusive practices. And I want to know, does it fall in your lap when I do take the call? And if so, I hope I got it right. Listen, guys, we have Steve on the live line from the Better Business Bureau. We'll be back.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
This is Kamini Khan, certified financial planner professional. For the past year, I've been on a mission to change lives and build wealth in our community. Together, we're changing the paradigm. This year, I'm back with a new series, Wealth Strategies, Money Talk. Join me every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on the Rufus Williams Show as we have thoughtful discussions around building wealth in our community. We'll discuss topics like investing, savings, tax strategies, retirement, and all things money. Yes, that's Tuesday at 8:30 a.m., so set those alarms. Also, be sure to check out the podcast at WVONwealthshow.com.
Komini Khan is a certified financial planner professional with Optimal Planning Partners in alliance with Equitable Advisors, LLC member SIPC in Oak Brook, Illinois. For more information, please call 630-575-5046.
Early detection saves lives. Ladies, if you're due for a mammogram, don't wait. Breast cancer is most treatable when it's found early. U Chicago Medicine makes it easier to take charge of your health. Eligible patients can self-schedule their mammogram online or through MyChart in just minutes. Visit uchicagomedicine.org/mammo to schedule your screening. That's uchicagomedicine.org/mammo. U Chicago Medicine at the forefront.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy.
Wow, Charles Barkley?
I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for. Open 7 days a week.
Oh, can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Can I try the catchphrase?
Sure. Take it for a spin.
There's no fees and minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Nice, Chuck. I'll take it from here. Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bank guide for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
It's the afternoon show.
Well, you got to remember, when we do it, it's called flued out. We flued him. Girl, he flued me out.
Oh, my. Why are you putting my people down?
No, that's what we call it. That's what it is.
Out. You've had this conversation with someone.
I flew people out.
You flew people? Flown people out? Now you got me saying.
If somebody telling me you flew me out, no, I'm not flying you nowhere after you just said that. I'm not.
I said I was about to. You said that.
Right.
The afternoon show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
There's too many of you.
And we are back. The time is 11:53, and it's a turbulent Tuesday on the Cleopatra Show. But we're hanging out with Steve Burness, President and CEO of the Better Business Bureau. And Steve, I'm getting down to business. Now, I've shared with you privately, if I walk into a business and I feel like they're not doing right in terms of putting folks in harm's way, bad food, uncleanliness, I just start talking about the Better Business Bureau. But meanwhile, back on the ranch, can you tell us what I can report, what we can do, and who are the right players to reach out to? Because you got this tracker, but I want to know, am I fighting a good fight and I'm saying the right thing? So please elaborate on what I can and can't do.
Of course, Cleopatra, you brought up a great point. The best time to call the BB is before you spend your money, though, not after you lost it or dealing with a bad business, because we see it time and time again, and we keep track of all the complaints that are filed against the business for the last 3 years, and we report on that. So a lot of times when people get in trouble is they're dealing with a bad business. Just because they have a license or a great jingle or they've been in business for 100 years doesn't make them a good business. And I think consumers don't do the research ahead of time, and that's where they fall into that trap. If you deal with a great business, with great customer service, who's well-known and doing things right way, those are the businesses you want to deal with. Every day we hear from consumers who tell us, I wish I checked with you first. 2-minute visits to bbb.org, which is our main website, can save people thousands of dollars and countless headaches. But if you do come across a bad business, yes, tell them you're going to report it to BBB and let us know about it. Most consumers will write it off to experience. Surveys have been done. 9 out of 10 consumers don't report it. Think about how many times, Cleopatra, you said that and didn't file a complaint with us or didn't pursue it further. And that's what happens. Most consumers write it off to experience. And that's why these scams or bad businesses continue to proliferate. Again, the only way to put scammers out of business is not to give them your business. So if you're in a company that's scamming you or deceiving you or putting these surcharges on, you want to know that ahead of time. So that's why the BBB is a well-known referral agency. Again, we've been doing this for 100 years here in Chicago, 114 years across North America. So basically, if you need a waterproofer, if you need an air conditioning contract, buying a car, going to a restaurant, we can give you this information ahead of time about the business, whether or not you want to do business with them. We're not going to say not to go with them. It's up to you. We give you the tools necessary. We tell you what grade they have.
Because, for example, I can see businesses that pass the transfer of the surcharge of using a credit or a debit card onto the consumer. Is that legal?
I'm not an attorney, so I don't want to speak on that. But yes, companies do that. So yes, I would say it would be legal. But again, I'm not an attorney.
Okay, legal, not the right word, but is it ethical? Is that normal practice?
It is normal practice for some businesses, unfortunately, but they have to tell you ahead of time, not after you're paying the bill, all these charges. So they should have it properly disclosed to those consumers. But consumers don't ask those questions or don't look for it until it's too late on that. But if there's abuse of that practice, Cleopatra, we put this on a company's website. On our website about the company. So you're calling about XYZ restaurant or XYZ, copying services. We will tell you what consumers have told us about that company. And that's why it's so important to let us know about these things.
All right, let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. If I go in a grocery store and they're selling dated food or bad meat, as that health inspector and the Better Business Bureau, where does the Better Business Bureau play in a scenario like that?
Well, we would turn that over to the city, depending on what city they're operating, to the health department of that particular city.
So it's the health department.
They handle that. Exactly.
Understood. I am very curious. I want to know more. I'm going to check out this scam tracker, and then I'm going to have Sonia tap and bring you back because, I think that there are so many, especially, the solicitations that come via our email or for those that are on social media that get got like that, not just exclusively in the United States Postal, but things that don't fit right or seem right, you all will take it. And if you get enough hits, then that's how you'll investigate it. Is that correct?
Well, we investigate it and we announce it to the public in our news release like we issued this morning because people come to us telling us they're getting these postcards. We should have warning and hopefully prevent people from falling victim to this. So we have a wealth of information. We've been doing it again for 100 years. We know what to do. We want consumers to come to us. But again, come to us first, not after. That's a lot of those.
That's the practice we need to get into. Right. All right. Well, Steve Burness, let this not be the last that you come and hang out on the TCS. I find you to be fascinating. And the next time I hurl a threat about the Better Business Bureau, I'm going to be real specific. It's So my understanding, because I could have sworn, I was like, I'm going to report you to the Better Business Bureau. And I am being so honest right now because you don't know what you don't know. So now that I know is somewhat the health department, I'm going to do a special segment on that. So thank you so much for pouring into us today.
Thank you for having me today. I'll come back anytime you'd like. Thank you.
Excellent. So listen, guys, it's been a blast to be with you all. Unfortunately, I'm looking at breaking news of a rescue operation in Colombia at the earthquake, and the rain that is tearing up the Chicagoland area doesn't make it any better. So I hope that everybody is safe, and I look forward to Fired Up Wednesday. I'm coming in with some piping hot tea. Let me tell you right now. As my wheels are turning, I find Steve Burness to be very interesting. And if we want to transform our quality of life, are y'all making these calls? Are we reporting? I'm going to start to figure this out. Hey, I'm on to something. And summer school is cool. And the fact that you all show up every day in the summer has been amazing. AAA+. And I'm coming in with some piping hot tea for Fired Up Wednesday. You don't want to miss the TCS. That's right. It's the Cleopatra Show. Only on WVON at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Right after me, coming in is piping hot is Maddie Matt. You don't want to miss him.
I hope you're making the best of this stormy day. I'm Kayla Patton, and in the headlines, the Chicago area is under a level 3 risk for severe weather with high winds, power outages, and downed trees. A new round of tickets to the Obama Presidential Center are going on sale later this week. And the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office continues to identify dozens of bodies recently found decaying at a Southside funeral home. The Black Information Network is next on Chicago's original social media platform, 1690 AM, WVON Berwyn, Chicago.
BIN News Now. President Trump says Republicans could face turnout challenges in next year's midterm elections because he won't be on the ballot.
The question is, will they vote?